Finding those levels, too. Look at that four-punch combination.
It's a masterclass right now from Shakur Stevenson. That's what you're seeing. A masterclass. And Shakur meets him with a straight left hand.
Oh, there's a knockdown scored with the left hand.
Right now, we're going to give him his just due. Shout out to my brother, Just Due.
Yo, you know the deal. We back again. We never slacking. Word 'em up. Ladies and guys, whether if you drunk or you high, it's time to pay respects to the illest man alive. If you think you got a point, he'll shrink you down to size. And from there it's downhill like a slinky or a slide. Open your eyes. Got a deep connection with the rise, so you might see them jump in whenever they go live. Peep it. This channel blowing up now, it's not a secret. With tons of exclusive interviews to listen to. Them other channels I hate, but yo, they missing clues. They start narratives, sip the goose and twist the truth. It don't take a rocket scientist to get the proof. Just click the live at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But when you chime in, make sure you keep it kind. But if cowards want to debate, then it's feasting time. My man Jusdu shine busy all the time. Grind 24/7, 365. Videos he might have 365. My rhyme sick, they make you do a 365. You get a rich if you think you fit to survive. It's Jusdueboxing, time to click the live. Ain't no beginners, if you soft, you ain't down to ride. I crush you, respect too, it's Jusdu. He got the illest boxing show on the internet. The boy been a threat and he ain't even had dinner yet. Word 'em up. Yeah. You know what time it is. $4 p.m. Eastern. Click the link.
What's good? What's good? Shout out to the family. We back on a good Friday, man. It's the end of the week, man. You know, we back with a Friday build, man. We got a new episode in the making, y'all. This might be a regular thing, man. This might, you know, it's a full-time job trying to shoot down these false narratives, man. And you know, right up the bat, shout out to everybody that's rocking with your boy, man. We're going to cook for a little bit. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to make it make sense over here like we always do, man. But I be saying, man, I'm assuming, man, I see why people delete Twitter and X. And I see why people stop listening to other guys, man. These people make it hard to enjoy the boxing, bro. This false narrative Friday might be a big thing in boxing, y'all. All right? And y'all rocking with it? Yes, y'all rocking with it. False narrative Fridays, man. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear it no more, man. People just say anything, man. And shout out to what's his name? Debo knows, whatever his name is. Shout out to you, fam. No disrespect, but I never attack the person or the individual, bro. I show people how to do this, the difference between me and people. You don't make it personal and say, yo, such and such said this. Nah, it's just something that I see out there and I go at it, you know, because I think it's bullshit. And the way people think boxing work, it don't work the way they say it work. And I know that, you know. Let me say what's up to my famo before we get to this. Shout out to Jory. He said false narratives Friday is crazy. Going platinum with this one for sure. We got to go platinum, y'all. Cal Cool it. Blessings to my dog. How you feeling, bro? He peeped the title. Ghetto Fab in the building. Peace to my queen, the baby girl. Miss Jusdu is in the building. How you feeling? Moni, peace to the queen. How you feeling today? Good to see you in the building, my guy. John, what it do, man? What's good with it, JP? Yeah, you know, 11K on the way. You know, we're going to run it and walk it down. You know, we're going to run it and walk it down. You feel me? Shout out to my homie Ace. What it do? Yeah, man, we're going to run it down, man. JP be on it. He be saying it. We getting there. We're going to hit 11K. I say maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple weeks, maybe. Depends, bro. But let's have another good solid stream, man. We gonna let's be goal oriented, man. Let's hit the like button, double tap the like button, man. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, man. And we gonna build today, man. We're gonna talk about it, man. Just a new idea I had, man. It's never personal, it's just boxing with me. You know, I don't make things personal, but man, Twitter is a dangerous place to talk boxing, man, because it's like zero accountability up there, and people just say anything. You know what I'm saying? So they say anything, and no accountability, and they just be pushing these narratives, y'all, that I just don't rock with. I can't rock with it. Like, we even gonna go back with the Loma and Tank joint, right? I'm gonna make it make sense for y'all, like I always do. All right, y'all, let's get to this though, man. Let's get to this. Yeah, Twitter drive you nuts, man. I'm telling you. Shout out to the homie Ace, man. Hey, and Ace, man, said a prayer for my guy. You know, you claim it is yours, Ace. You know, you claim it is yours, my guy. You feel me? Shout out to my dog. But let's get to this, man. So yeah, man, what brought me here is I've been hearing a lot of back and forth and weird narratives, man. You know, this recent a lot of this stuff stemmed from Lomachenko electing not to fight Tank. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, a lot of different narratives came from that. And I'm just tired of it, bro. I like boxing, bro. And these people will make you not like it if you just like, you get what I'm saying? If you just see the shit that be out there. So for me, I stay in my lane, man. I call it fighting a good fight, but I ain't really fighting, man. I'm just speaking the real when it comes to this shit, man. And shooting these narratives down one day at a time, man, because this shit, it got to stop at some point. BJ 33 in the building. What's good, homie? That Loma seen Bob was trying to cash him out and said, nah, we're going to go ahead and lay it down. So look, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. So check this out. Hold on. Check this out. We all know the story. We know the track record. Look, I've been very consistent. Very consistent. You know, it's this argument that, you know, once upon a time that Tank Davis was supposed to fight Loma. He should have been fought him, right? He had an opportunity to fight him. You know, Loma wanted to fight him. Tank ain't want to fight him. Blah, 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 blah. The problem with that is, and I attack all narratives. Like, I'm for boxing. I'm just for the truth. The problem with that is nobody really lifted a finger and like got on the phone. It wasn't no discussions. From all the information that's out there, I'm very confident in saying this. It wasn't no discussions on the phone. It was just like a conversation. It was something that was being said. Like, you heard Floyd mention possibly making that fight, but he said it when him and Tank was like probably not on the best of terms. So you know he was being a little funny, but at the same time, he the same guy that said, yo, Loma want to fight him because he old, man, and you know he in a rush. You know, let them stay over there. Them dudes fight each other, worry about each other. Tank over here, we gonna do what we do. We're gonna get this money. That's what Floyd said. So there was never no real initiative on either side, whether that be Top Rank or Floyd Mayweather and Tank's team, to make a fight back then. There was none of that. It wasn't no negotiations, none of that, bro. It was just something being said in the media space and on the internet. It was had been talked about in conversation, but nobody put no effort into actually moving towards making that fight. You get what I'm saying? So by y'all definition, that's not a duck. You can't duck somebody with no paperwork, with nobody. You get what I'm saying? The fight never officially being on the table and it being an option for you truly. Can anybody point at any time before this recent situation, before Loma retired, that him and Tank negotiated, their teams was in contact with each other? You even got the evidence with Loma going out there saying, hey, man, fight him for what? For money? Like, he was downplaying fighting him. You get what I'm saying? Like saying, oh, you fight on this network, I fight here. He was coming up with reasons. Now, look, I'm a fine believer in giving everybody the same respect. Loma's a dog, bro. Loma a real one, bro. He a real fighter. That dude he ain't scared to fight nobody. So this is the crazy thing with y'all, the way y'all want me to think. And I'm going to make this shit make sense. Y'all bear with me. Hit that like button, man. Sub to the channel. Support the build. We're going to get to it. On one end, they want me to believe that it was Tank that was scared to fight Lomas all them years ago. That's why it didn't happen. But as I just stated, we know that wasn't true. They never really even tried to make the fight, right? So he moved on. We giving them now moving on. Fast forward to the most recent situation. Now, y'all want me to believe it's Loma that's scared of Tank. You see how silly it is? All those years ago when the fight didn't happen, it was Tank. Now, all these years later, it's Loma's being scared and ducking. That shit is garbage. Ducking is a surface level conversation for people that really don't try to understand the sport. They just want to point the finger one way or the other. It's all bullshit. So I want to start with that narrative. False Narrative Friday is going to start with that one. Despite what you think and what you feel, Gervonta Tank Davis never ducked Lomachenko. But I'm going to get to Loma in a second. I'm going to get to him in a second. But he never did. We would have all loved to see the fight. We would have supported it if they made it at any given point. We would have been on top of it, right? We would have enjoyed that fight. But fact of the matter is, bro, they never made the fight. Nobody pushed for it. Maybe you could criticize and say, Tank, man, you didn't prioritize for it. Maybe you didn't ask for it. You could say that, but you could say it with Loma too. He wasn't on Bob Hellman about fighting no damn Tank. When? Show me. I was here for this. I watched his whole entire career. I watched his pro debut, all that. I watched this dude's entire career. Pretty much both of these guys. At no point was that ever the deal where Loma was pressing and fighting. Never. So you got to kill that. One narrative down the drain. Let's kill that. Tank Davis never ducked no Lomachenko. You can't duck somebody without no paperwork and nobody even setting up the damn fight. Don't make sense, bro. You gotta get what I'm saying? You gotta make it make sense. Shout out to my dog, man. Jordan said for the build, man. Appreciate the love, homie. We gonna keep building.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well,
right.
well. I already been getting these bet, but now it's time for you to get your just due.
Man, much love to my dog Jordan. Big shout out to my dog Emmanuel, man. For the 10-piece in the Cash App. He hit me in the Cash App before we even went live. That's real support. That's love. Shout out to my homie Emmanuel.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well,
right.
well. I already been getting these bet, but now it's time for you to get your just due.
Shout out to Emmanuel. Appreciate you, homie. Much love. Yeah, too many narratives, and they false narratives at that. No, you wrong for telling the truth. That's not how the game works. You know, Cal, we got to get to it over here because we're going to be fair on both sides and we're going to be real. And I'm going to tell y'all why Loma didn't duck Tank in a minute, but we're going to get to that. But that was one. So we kind of got to leave that where it is. If there's nothing you can do about that. There was no paperwork in place. There were no ongoing negotiations. There wasn't no back and forth phone calls. There wasn't no offer up on the table. And Tank was like, nah, I ain't fighting him. So there's no way you can duck him. I hate that. Shut up. Just stop. And while we at it, not only did Tank never duck Loma, he ain't duck nobody. Is he prioritizing the fights? I promise you, we can say that. Is he pursuing the best guys or the guys you want to see? You can say that. But ducking is a much different thing. I mean, it's a fight. This is a real fight. It's on the table for you. It's in place. Y'all talking and you walk away or you deny and turn down the fight. That's never happened. That's never happened. So you can't just be a duck because it sound good to say it on the internet. Kill that shit. You didn't duck Loma. Now let's speed up. Since we talking about ducks, Teach, what's good with it, homie? How you feeling, bro? And I don't like the word duck much, but just by y'all logic and how y'all look at it, right? Fast forward. So that was what it was. That's put to bed. That's over with. So at the next time we heard about them fighting was this recent situation where it was actual negotiations and somebody didn't, somebody said, nah, I'm cool. But I'm going to tell you again why that's not a duck. But what is by y'all logic, because everything just can't be ducking, right? Once upon a time, Lomachenko was offered the opportunity to fight who? Who is it, y'all? Who was Loma? Who was Loma? Loma had an opportunity to fight somebody for a vacant title or something like that. Man, and my memory be slipping me. Hey man, what's that dude name, man? What's dude name that they be complaining about all the time, man? Damn, man, the kid that ain't got no defense. The kid that ain't got no defense, like he just jump straight back. The kid ain't got no offense either. And his last, and I found out today his last 5 fights been bad. What's his name? The Stevenson kid. Yeah, the kid that with the gap. Yeah, the kid with the gap. Yeah, Lomachenko got a chance. An opportunity to fight him for a vacant title, that WBC title at 135. And guess what Loma said, y'all? Guess what he did? Guess what Loma said? Not only did he say no to Core, he went on and fought George Kambosos and beat him pillar to post, knocked him out, was the first one to stop George Kambosos, stopped him with the body shot, beat his ass. But he said no to that Stevenson kid. Yeah, that one they like to hate on, the one they love to hate on and push the narratives on. Yeah. So by their definition and the way they think, that's a legit duck. I don't like the word. I say, yo, he could choose who he want to fight. Maybe he had a better option. But by definition that they use in boxing, that is ducking. You said no to a world-class fighter and then went and fought a C+, I'm being nice, C+ guy maybe, because he had a belt. You fought him for his belt, beat him up, took his belt. You had no problem doing that. So by y'all logic and the way y'all think, that's ducking. Saying no to the better guy and Shakur Stevenson, yeah, that Jersey kid that they hate, and then fighting the guy from Australia. Yeah, Kambosos. Yeah, the one that arguably was like on a losing streak before he got to you. Like he lost to Maxie Hughes. You get what I'm saying? He's been looking like some stir fry ever since Devin Haney. He ain't had a good fight since Devin Haney. His last good fight was Teofimo Lopez. That is it. He beat up. He got a win over Teo, and he been getting his ass beat ever since. Loma said, "Nah, Shakur, hell no." And they were both on top rank. They could have made that fight 1, 2, 3. Loma said, "Nah, I'm cool." They told me the reason he wouldn't fight Shakur is because he wasn't trying to fight for a vacant title. Well, that's bullshit. Title is a title, bro. And they reported that it would have been a career high payday to fight that kid from Newark, New Jersey. And he still said no with the title on the line. He said, "Nah, I'm cool." But he went and fought George in Kangaroo Land, from Kangaroo Land, and beat him from pillar to post, bro. Whooped his ass. Had no problem beating his ass. Cool. He beats him up. And then we're going to fast forward. Shout out to my dog, Blunt Sports, said, "Just keep telling the truth, man. Appreciate you, bro. We're going to keep building. You know how we do over here, man. Much love to my guys."
And we ain't never got to box again. Well, right. well. I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to get your just.
Let's get to it, man. You already know. Let's talk fashion. Remote was good with it, my guy. Mr. Rich Threads in the building. How you feeling, bro? So yeah, let's keep going. So he said no. Like I said, by definition, that's a duck, right? He said no to better competition, fought a lesser guy. He had no real reason for why he wouldn't fight Shakur at all. Now, am I going to think that he's scared? Nah, let me tell you how I think. I'm a logical thinker. I don't think Loma said no to Shakur because he was scared. I think Lomachenko was weighing his cards and trying to retire with a win. Let me tell you why. You get what I'm saying? We all seen when he lost to Devin Haney, that was a bit of a devastating loss for him. We seen him. He cried like a baby, some would say, right? He went in the back room and he started crying, right? He was hurt. He was gutted visibly, right? But if y'all remember the telecast or y'all remember the aftermath of that fight, he was talking about what? Because I'm real, I'm going to tell you what most people don't want to include because they want to push that he ducked Tank Davis. I don't even want to push that he ducked Shakur, and I'm about to explain why. I think he wanted to retire with a win. He fought Devin Haney. Devastating loss. It was a razor-thin loss, like 7-5. Haney weighted me. Gave up that 12th round. That was a big round. And he started a little slower than usual, right? So he lost. But if anybody remember the conversation or with him and his dad, it was what? They didn't want to fight no more. He was talking about retiring after the Devin Haney loss. He was talking about retiring. Yeah, I know people don't want to hear it because you want to push him out to be a duck, but this is even before the Shakur Stevenson opportunity came to fruition or even came about. Before that was even said, he was already saying he thinking about he retiring. They felt like they got robbed. Every single poll that I seen across YouTube felt like Lomachenko got robbed, and he was gutted. He felt like, yo, look, I gave my all to the game, and this was it. I'm ready to walk away. So I think, in my mind, when he got a chance to fight Shakur, he like, you think about it. If you already in your mind, you think about retiring, that's not a guy that you fight. I don't care what nobody say. Shakur locked in. He ain't thinking about no damn retirement right now, despite him having a moment on X or Twitter saying something about retirement. Real ones know he was just frustrated. He wasn't going nowhere. He never retired. So I don't think you take that fight. But then you have a Kambosos on the table. That's an easier fight. So if you're Lomachenko and you already don't really want to get up, you think about leaving since the last loss, you definitely don't think you want to go fight Shakur. Shakur locked in. That's not going to be a good idea for you to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out and go get in there with him. And if you want to retire with a for sure win, you don't fight him either. It's a risky fight if you want to retire somewhat at the top. So I think Kambosos came about. He took the fight. It was what it was. Even his dad had to convince him to take that fight. Not even just Shakur. He had to convince him to take Kambosos. How do I know? Because I paid attention to the follow-up, the whole situation, the lead up. He convinced Loma, take this fight. You can do it one more time. It's for a title. You'll be a champion, X, Y, and Z. You know, I'm just spitballing, but that's what the conversation was. Pretty much his dad convincing him that, yo, you got a little more in you. You could do this shit one more time. That's what he decided to do. So he went and fought George Kambosos. Shout out to my dog behind the hands TV, my brother. What's good with it, bro? Get on code. Yeah, man. Let's make sure we on code and hit that double tap that screen. Hit that like button. BBO, what it do? Who don't want to go out on top? Y'all, he went out perfect. A stoppage and a world title. I'm telling you, I'm just being real. I'm just being real without pushing no narratives. Notice, I'm shooting them down, but I ain't pushing them on nobody. I ain't framing them out to be a duck. And look, if I was just a Shakur guy, I'll be in a rush to say, yeah, he ducked Shakur. Yeah, by definition that y'all use, that's a duck. Not fighting them, they're fighting a lesser guy for a title too. Like, what was the difference over here? And you would have got more money fighting that guy. Why didn't you fight him? But I'm so real, I can look at things from a different perspective outside of ducking. You know why I feel like it's not ducking? Because who did Lomachenko ever be scared to fight in his career? Who? The man fought Devin Haney and Teofimo. Whether he beat him or not, he fought him. He ain't, if you ain't scared, is scared. If you scared of world-class competition, you scared of world-class competition. Some would deem Teofimo, Tank Davis, and Lomachenko all around the same level. So if you fought two of those three guys, why would you be scared of the third or even the fourth in Shakur's case? So it was never a matter of if he was scared of any of these guys. Nah, he wasn't scared of none of these guys. It just was a matter of him fighting the fight that he felt like I think was the most winnable for him. And I think he did want to retire on top. I think the loss to Devin Haney hurt him bad. We obviously visibly seen that. He was in the back room crying like a baby, right? That shit hurt. He was ready to walk away from the sport then. Dad convinced him, hey, man, and if you're going to convince him, then you're going to convince him to get the fight that you think he can win and go out on top on. Kambosos got a bit of a name. He got a title. People were going to pay attention to the fight. They watched it. They tuned in, and there you go. Now you get what I'm saying? Now you got Loma fighting a guy that he can beat and going out on top. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going. Forever G's, what it do, my guy? How you feeling? Fought Gary and Rigo. And then he did that shit with Gary. Fought Gary with what, 3 in his third fight, something like that. You get what I'm saying? Come on, man. And fought Rigondeaux. Nobody that's doing that is scared of smoke. But an unrealistic fan or a super fan of a fighter, they're going to convince you, nah, Loma's scared as hell. He was scared of Tank. That's why he didn't fight him. You see how I ain't up here lobbying how he's scared of Shakur because that shit not real. He ain't scared of none of them dudes. Was it some hesitancy? Obviously, it was something that made him not want to fight Shakur, but it wasn't being scared. That's not logical to me. The man had what? About 400 amateur fights, only lost 1 or 2 or whatever the case. He's a dog, bro. He's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. He's not scared of competition. He's been competing all his life. It's not logical to think that he's scared of any of these dudes, any of them. And I mean them, Shakur included. Not scared of none of them. Did he select who he wanted to fight out of the batch? Absolutely, but I just ain't with all that duck shit. Because at the end of the day, you control your own destiny, and Loma controlled his own destiny. He wanted to win, I think, on the way out. I think he wanted to go out kind of on top, and it was no surprise that he didn't fight nobody else after that. Shout out to Behind Hands TV, Stretched Out Boxing. My dog was good with it. Samuel in the building was good, man. He said, "Boys be crying." Oh yeah, that's definitely him. Hard to see the slippers taking place in the mirror and ignore it. That's real. Shout out to Remo, official everything, my guy. He said he didn't duck, he weaved, right? He thought about that spar with Shakur, said, no, sir. And look, like I said, y'all, for me, I know some people gonna still say, nah, Just, that's a duck, and that's cool. But for me, I'm very consistent. I don't like that narrative much. So it's not a duck. He was selective in who he chose to fight. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, and I'm glad Behind the Hands in here, he mentioned it. Gary, Rigo, Tio, Devin. Somebody that's fought those guys, he ain't scared of world-class competition. You get what I'm saying? Those guys, that's world-class competition. All of those guys I just named. It ain't no way you scared of some of the top dogs, but not the other ones. Nah. Devin Haney had a crazy size advantage over him and everything. And he still went up in there and he gave Devin Haney all types of hell, all he could handle. And a lot of people felt like he should have won, but he didn't. Every poll I seen across YouTube had Loma winning. But let's keep going. So he said no. He fought. He no to core. Fights Cambosis. You get what I'm saying? Then they like, all right, now we hear about the tank situation. Now, again, y'all, the difference between all them years ago that people keep talking about and now they actually negotiated for however long. It was a period of time before Lomachenko elected to walk away and retire. But furthermore, I forgot to bring up and mention the fact that he had issues with his back. That was another thing that had him contemplating his career. People are trying to say that he mysteriously had back issues when it came time to fight Tank. That's just another false narrative, bro. The man been had some back issues. He had surgeries before and all types of shit, yo. So Loma been a guy that was thinking about retiring. And I think, like I said, if you was thinking about retiring after Devin Haney, you say no to Shakur, you fight Cambosis, and then they throw a Tank Davis at you, and you talking about retiring, you like, yo, I'm gonna be the first to say that's not the kind of fight that you take either if you're thinking about retiring, bro. You get what I'm saying? So, nah, man. The reason why I feel like that's not a duck of Gervonta Davis is because he already was talking about retiring since his last loss. His dad had to motivate him to fight George Cambosis. People want to forget this conveniently because they want to push bullshit. But I'm trying to tell you, he was talking about retiring before that fight. I sat here, listened to and followed the whole story with his dad, basically hyping him up and convincing him, look, you got some more in you. You can do this. And he went out there and did it. Beat Cambosis up. And let me ask y'all something. You know what I mean? Shout out to JD, 203 JD. What's good with it, fam? Let me ask y'all something. He said they just hate Haney. He gave it to Dev. Now, a lot of people, listen, every poll I seen, bro, I don't think it was hate. I just think Loma had bigger moments, too. He had bigger moments. He had bigger rounds. Like, he won rounds more convincingly. That's all I think. And, a lot of people, like, every single poll that I seen, bro, every poll, everything. Boxing was good, my guy. You feeling? What's good with it? So, look, man, like I said, he had back issues. He's already talking about retiring. Dad had to gas him to fight Cambosis, and people don't want to acknowledge that. I want to ask y'all. I almost lost my train of thought. Pardon me, y'all. Who did Lomachenko call out or say he wanted to fight after he beat George Kambosos? Y'all remember? Y'all remember? Who did he say? He said he wanted to fight somebody? I ain't mad at it if you seen it for Haney. I seen a lot of people say it for Haney, but every poll I seen was like between 60 something and 70% for Haney. I seen not one solitary poll that I came across the entire time after that fight for Haney. I ain't see nobody say it for him, but I seen several people say they, they had him winning though, but none of the polls. You get what I'm saying? You had some of the famous people, saying that they thought Haney won. So I don't know. Man, it's a really close fight though, nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? A really close fight. No robbery, because it was just that kind of fight. It was close. You know what I'm saying? It was close. I thought Loma could have edged it, but I ain't crying about Haney winning either, because Loma is known to give up the 12 round. You know what I'm saying? He's known to give up the 12 round. He did it with Teofimo. And he's on record. He's on record saying he let up off the gas in the 12th round. He's on record saying that he didn't give it 100%. Why would you be in a undisputed fight and not give it 110%? Hell, with 100, why you don't give it 110%? So that's why I felt comfortable with people saying Haney won, because in so many words, Loma admitted, like, that fight was too close for you to give anything less than your all. That's what I'm saying, especially at the last round. He had way too much experience to allow a mistake like that to me. You know what I'm saying? But you just never know. You just never know. Say it was closer. Loma waited too late. Yeah, man, he got started kind of late. But again, y'all, let's stay on track. Once again, Lomachenko said I had Haney 9-3, but the rounds Loma won, one more dominant. That's what it was, bro. He had them bigger moments in them rounds, and I think that swayed people's opinion and decision to roll with with Loma. But I ain't tripping either way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people had Haney losing, and it's a fair amount of people that had him winning. You know what I'm saying? But what I want to point out to y'all, like I said, most times when guys get a big win, they ask him, what's next? Or if you going to do this, Lomachenko ain't call nobody out. He ain't say he wanted to fight somebody else. Dude ain't even seem like that was his swan song. That was his retirement. That was his retirement fight right there. He wasn't planning on fighting, in my opinion, of course, based on the information that's out there. I don't think he was ever planning on fighting again. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't look at him saying no to Tank is ducking him, right? I look at it as making a decision. Now, had he continued his career, had Loma continued his career and say he would have took a lesser fight, kind of like the same way he did with Shakur, then you will have a conversation for him avoiding Tank Davis. I don't like the duck word, but you could say he avoided him or turned him down and went and took a lesser fight, or you can go duck crazy if you want, but that shit never happened. Really, if you want to be technical by definition, the only person that Loma would have ducked was Shakur, but they don't like to talk about that. They like to say, he ducked, he ducked Loma, he ducked, Loma ducked Tank, but he ain't ducked neither one of them guys. I think he was strategic in what he wanted his last fight to be. I think he wanted his last fight to be a win, a dominant win, a win nonetheless. And he's seen the title. He was motivated. He went and fought George Kambosos, and the rest is history. The man went off and retired, and that's just what it is. In no way, shape, or form could you label him scared of top competition when that dude came into the game fighting top competition. Shit, what was it? Second fight was what was it? Salido? Second fight, he fought Orlando Salido. Like, this dude came out the gate about to smoke. Fought Gary in like his third fight. Get what I'm saying? End up fighting Rigondeaux even when he didn't want to fight him. He toyed with him. Remember, for a while, they was calling this dude Lomachenko. He was making people quit on the stools, beating people ass. He beat up Nicholas Walters, who was a hell of a fighter when he beat him up. So I'm just stating the case for why Loma ain't ducking nobody, bro. We got to be realistic. The man ain't scared to fight. You get what I'm saying? So he wasn't scared of Shakur, wasn't scared of Tank, wasn't scared of none of these guys. I just think he made strategic decisions toward the end. As far as in that last fight, I don't think he wanted to fight one of those top tier guys. I don't think he was ready to get up for that. And that's just my opinion. I think he's seen the opportunity to win against Kambosos. Get what I'm saying? Somebody with somewhat of a name, you know, at the back end of his career, whatever you want to say with Kambosos, but he got a title. Lomachenko is 36 years old. He's younger than, you get him, older than Kambosos, so can't really knock him for that. So I'm just logical. If you want to frame him as a duck, I ain't arguing it, but I'm just gonna tell you why I don't push that shit. It's just whack. It's corny, right? And I was pissed off when he didn't take the Shakur fight. I almost knew for sure we was gonna get a Lomachenko and Shakur fight out of boxing. Hell nah, man. Loma had other plans, but like I said, I ain't tripping on him. It's not the end of the world, and it's worse shit. You get what I'm saying? It's worse shit. You know, or it's more boxing, man. It's worse. We seen worse shit before. So, like I said, man, rewind all the way to the Tank ducking shit. It's just, like I said before, bro. I don't believe he's prioritized the biggest names in the best fights. I don't think that was his goal. I'm comfortable saying that because he pretty much said as much. He chased the money, legacy, and belts really wasn't the focus. Yeah, he had a title, but you know, that should just come with the package, man. I think you know, everybody want to be to call himself a world champion, but I just don't think at no point in his career did he go ask for the fights. That's what he said. Did he prioritize those fights that people clamor for? So, you know, to me, I don't frame guys as ducks. Hey, you pick and choose who you want to fight, but understand it's gonna come with criticism. Everybody ain't gonna be as easy going as me. You get what I'm saying? But dudes want to retire at the top. I got this little clip real quick. I'm gonna play with somebody saying why Tank is retiring and why he taking the Jake Paul fight. Just a short clip, but this is how people think.
No wonder Gervonta Davis took this rigged fight with Jake Paul. The moment the fight got announced, people couldn't believe it. The size difference alone, almost 60 pounds. How is that even a fair matchup? Most thought Davis was just chasing money, or maybe clout from Jake Paul's hype. But if you really know boxing, you know there's a deeper reason. First, Gervonta wants to retire undefeated. Back in March, his fight with Lamont Roach ended in major controversy. A lot of fans believed Roach actually won, not a draw. The rematch was supposed to happen in August, but it never did. Then last month, Davis got sidelined with a domestic violence case, and now out of nowhere this Jake Paul fight gets booked. Hard not to think he's ducking Roach. Add to that the retirement rumors. If Davis beats Jake Paul in what looks like a rigged exhibition, he can walk away undefeated, record intact. Second, it's about the money. This fight could go down as one of the richest in boxing history. The projected purse, $100 million. Davis gets 40%, that's $40 million. To boxing fans, it may look like a no-contest sideshow, but for Gervonta Davis, it's the...
I mean, you know, it is what it is, man, but part of what they said there is what I level with. Maybe you do want to retire undefeated on top. I mean, I think most people, if they could write their story, they gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? If you could, you know, finesse your career, or I don't even want to say finesse. If you could just position yourself to leave out on top or on your terms, you're gonna do it. I think that's what Tank is doing, right? Dudes want to retire on top. Like I said, for me, the way I see it, I've always looked at it a certain way. If the people that you got with, if the goal was making you the best fighter ever, truly, then I think the programming would have been more so, let's chase the money with the legacy, not chase the money. When you hear Floyd Mayweather say shit like, oh, hey, man, Loma only want to fight him because of, you know, he's older and he ain't got that much time and X, Y, and Z, right? When you hear that kind of shit, you know that he's clearly not being influenced or directed to chase those fights. So, yeah, could you criticize him for not prioritizing them? Absolutely. But when you got the powers that be and your people and your advisors seemingly moving you away from them guys, meanwhile building up this ego and this, you know, this aura around you that none of these guys are on your level. And you see, you get the knockouts. They don't get the knockouts. You knocking shit out. You getting the money, right? And you doing this shit without them. I think he was programmed that way. It seems that way. Because, I mean, come on, you Floyd Mayweather. You got a fighter and you want to make fights. I'm pretty sure ain't nobody stopping you from making fights. But if you're convincing your guy that he ain't never got to get in the ring with none of these other fighters, then what is he going to do? Like, and then it seemed like he started to like you could see it, you could hear it in the way that he responded to certain fighters, and when they asked him about him, seemed like they really have convinced him, like, nah, you don't need these guys. You good without them. You could be great without them. You get what I'm saying? So I think they seen the opportunity. When I say they, I mean the business of boxing, the powers that be. They found that they could make money with Tank, and that's why, in my opinion, that's what they continue to do, make money, right? If you a guy that ain't calling nobody out or prioritizing the top level fights, and you're allowing them to come up with names, then what are they going to do? If you're allowing them to do it, and you're an investment, some would say you're a protected investment. That's not me knocking you, but that's them, as far as the business, them trying to make sure I think they make money off you. So I don't think the goal was ever to try to make you a legend far as like legacy wise with the resume. I don't think that the goal with him and the powers that be, I don't think those were the conversations. Just to me, I could be wrong, but I just don't feel like it. And when you see how things are played out and how dismissive people are of his, fighting the contemporaries, like they make so many excuses for him. It seemed like they don't even want these fights. But for me, I can see a guy that didn't prioritize, but you can tell. And I keep saying, I will never forget when Floyd said, man, y'all need to fight each other. Don't worry about Tank. That's telling me, you telling this dude, we ain't worried about fighting, and I'm gonna show you how to get this money. How did he open up, Tank eyes and get him on board? He showed him shit, the money, the cars, the jewelry, right? The jets and all that, taking flights. He sold him the lifestyle. And that's what Tank wanted. He wanted the lifestyle. And part of the way that you ensure that you are able to, make it to a point where you could afford that kind of lifestyle, you're going to take certain fights, and other fights you're not. So look, I want to be very clear. I understand when people say, oh yeah, well, that's ducking. Cool, I'm not going to argue with you, but I'm a logical thinker. I'm going to tell you why I don't think it's ducking as much as it's not prioritizing the guys that the fans want to see you fight. I think he felt like as long as he gave you knockouts, and then you got to think, to a degree, could you really tell Tank that he's doing something wrong if no matter who he fights is doing great numbers? What is his incentive to change what he's doing? What, public pressure? Because don't nothing matter more than that end result, that bottom line, your dollar. His money was never affected by nobody he fought. It wasn't one of them situations where he went and fought a guy and then it was a pay-per-view and then, oh shit, it flopped. So again, part of his thinking, to me, and this is just my opinion, is, shit, well, maybe I am doing something right. They coming out to see me. I'm doing great numbers, breaking some of my own gate numbers, right? Am I really doing something wrong? But the only people that's asking are the interviews or the people that's on social media, right? They asking me to fight these guys, but everybody is coming to see me fight whoever. So, right, you get me? It's one of those things where, do I keep doing what I've been doing because this is what I've been taught, or do I start doing what I never was taught to do? They never prioritize fighting them other guys. I'm convinced. I'm sold. They never told him, hey, man, for you to be great, you got to fight them. And that's also another thing with Tank. He was able to break the mold. He's not your typical fighter where he had to chase down the belts and the names with it to get the record. Like, long as he was knocking shit out and doing the flip off the top rope, nobody was complaining. They was cool. They wanted to see the show. And I think they wanted to keep that shit going as long as they could. And I think you get to a point where you become comfortable with what you've been doing. And it's safe to say that if all your competition is in or around the same level, and then you got a crop of other guys that's a higher tier, if you've been fighting a certain level, you're not going to just all of a sudden switch up and start fighting these other guys. If that were the case, these motherfuckers should have been promoting and pushing you towards the smoke. But they seen Tank and they seen a fucking meal ticket. That's what I'm saying, y'all. I think they seen a meal ticket. And and then think about it, y'all. The time that he got into it, or not into it, involved with Mayweather, that's money Mayweather. His days of being Pretty Boy Floyd was long gone. The man literally was all about the bag. Every fight, I think from, what was it like? I just had the year. It was like 08 to, he went like 11-0 with 2 knockouts. You get what I'm saying? But that's the guy that he ran into, the money guy. So I think he sold him the lifestyle, sold him, you get what I'm saying, the dream. told him, look, I can make you a star and I can do it without you having to fight these guys. And I think it got to a point where he really believed that he don't have to fight these guys to be great. Get what I'm saying? So again, and I'll say this also, I never thought his why was to be the greatest fighter. I never got that from him because the moves didn't dictate that, right? It wasn't that he didn't want to fight nobody to be good or great, but I just think he wanted to make money. He always said it. So, I mean, he's very consistent about that. Now, it was times where he talked strap season and stuff like that. Yeah, he told us about a list. Yeah, he told us he's going to beat guys up. But I think ultimately what you say and what you do don't line up. But what you were taught and programmed to think, you got your damn promoter telling you that those other guys need to basically leave you alone, focus on each other. We over here doing us. And that's how he continued to move. I think that's how he was taught. You get what I'm saying? Let me say what's up. What's going on in the chat? He said Tank Duck certain fights. I feel it. I feel it. Shout out to the Queen, Lisa. How you feeling today? He said 50 Monster Diddy. Keep it the same age for all fighters, but Tank get too many excuses and benefits of doubt for the other fighters don't get from the boxing world. And I get that. That's why I keep my energy the same. So when I do come up with an assessment, you know it's coming from a genuine place of just being fair. I'm sick of the narratives like duck, 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 everybody ducking. And again, it all depends on what you frame or label as a duck. For me, I feel like without paperwork involved, without no offers, without no phone calls, like there was never a contract or nothing in place for him to fight Shakur or no offer with Teo, with Haney. You know what I mean? They negotiated briefly with Loma. You get what I'm saying? For me, for Just Do, y'all. I can't say you duck people without it being a situation in place and then you turning your back to it. That's why I say, in all honesty, it's about prioritizing because you are in a position where you can get the fights you want. How do I know? Because your team said this. Your team said it for years. So they programmed you to think a certain way, and that's the way you move to this day. And listen to when he speak. When they ask him about a Shakur, what he did, didn't he just fight? Or how he looked? And it's like, oh, he a D-League fighter. He need to go prove himself. You telling me that's not consistent? Like the way of thinking. He already convinced himself like, damn, that dude ain't good. Because they probably filling his head with the bullshit. He ain't on your level. He's soft. Look, he got booed at North. You get what I'm saying? He got brittle hands. He don't bring nothing to the table. All this BS. And I think after somebody filling your head with bullshit after a while, you going to run with it. Because he wasn't saying that before. How do I know? Go rewind before Tank and Shakur became a real thing, like a possibility for them to fight, and see how he was talking about Shakur then. That's his real feelings toward him. But once it became like a fight, everybody was so resistant to it. No, we're not taking pay cuts. We're not fighting them. You're not going to let us do what we do. You name it, they said it. Like, right? They made so many, his performances was bad. Right? They were saying the reason he ain't fight Shakur is because he ain't been looking good in his fights. Then he go put belt to ass as a paid, and it's like, nah, he still ain't look good. So again, I think it was programming, bro. I respect anybody that say, nah, it's ducking. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just here to tell you logically why I don't see it that way. No paperwork in place, no phone calls being made. It's just talk on the internet and us as boxing fans knowing what fights should be made based on who are the top guys. So I'm right there with you. Should those fights have been made? Absolutely. But the reason why I'm speaking just for me, why I won't call him a duck is because there was nothing in place for him to fight these guys, right? There's nothing forcing him to do it. And he the A-side in all these situations. So I felt like it was a matter of not prioritizing the fights that the people wanted to see, the ones that made the most sense. Now, some would say, yeah, that's ducking. That's why I said I won't argue with you if you say that. I'm not here to tell you wrong because I know why you feel that way. But because I'm a guy that's very consistent about pushing that narrative, that duck narrative so loosely, I choose not to partake in it, right? It's just too many, you know what I mean, BS narratives. And nowadays, you don't even got to be in the same weight class and somebody label you a duck. So like I said, man, for me, you can definitely get on his helmet about prioritizing the bigger fights or bigger name fights. But I think part of his problem was the fact that he knows he can make money without these guys. I don't think he ever was in a situation where it's either fight this guy or your next fight. Like, I think the shit hit different. Say you fight Lamont, Roach, and it flop. let alone a draw, but said it flopped, said the numbers didn't do well. I think the pressure to do something different would, you know what I'm saying, would be there. I think it would exist to do something different, to try to go after somebody else with more of a name, but it just seemed like that never happened. Like his numbers was always, he was always getting paid. He the A-side guy. And that's another thing too. That's another part of it that I didn't bring up. Just in my opinion, I feel like the better the opponent, the more money they demand. And I think one of the reasons why they select the opponents that they select for him is because they don't have to pay him. You get what I'm saying? They didn't have to pay these guys a lot. And I said this before. Name me one Gervonta Davis opponent that you would say get paid with Shakur get paid. You get what I'm saying? And then you start to think like, damn, the Devin Haney's of the world. Maybe not so much with Teo because maybe they get him at a discount. But again, I just don't think he prioritized these guys. I think he was conditioned to think a certain way. I think he was taught this is how you get rich. And this is us chasing greatness, right? These guys need you. You don't need them. You've heard it. You heard it from Leonard Ellerby for years. You heard this shit time and time again. If somebody is beating that shit into your head for years, that you the best thing smoking since sliced bread, right? You the best thing smoking. None of these dudes on your level. You don't need them. You can make money. You can fight whoever you want. You your own boss. See, this is why you able to fight who you want and make the money. These dudes can't do it because they not. You start to believe that shit. And that's what I started to hear when he started to go real crazy, like with the Shakur question, when he started really flipping and getting mad. That shit was programming, I think, constant programming. Yo, that dude is not on your level. He this, he that. You got to think they called the dude everything under the sun. And they done convinced him in his mind that you ain't never got to fight none of these dudes and you going to always make money. You get what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Defeat poverty. I believe so too, Lisa. I do. Motown, what's good with it? Best and tell the world. Yeah, I get that. I get it. But I think AETB, man, you could come up if you got a minute. The link in the I could put it in here, but the link in the community post, bro, you could come up. You could come up because I definitely, if you speaking for the other side, I definitely want the people to hear it. Jose, what's good with it, fam? You say guys are divas these days, yeah. And look, maybe so. Maybe a little bit of diva energy. Tim Layton, what it do, homie? How you feeling? Reef, my dog. So stuck at work till 7. Pray for me, man. Hopefully I can get you through the work, man. King of the internet. I've been there. So look, I do think ETB part of the marketing strategy is to try to sell yourself as the best, right? I think all fighters do that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I do think that was a strategy, right? You going wolf a little bit, right? Because what I'm saying is you can't tell nobody you can't tell nobody 100%. And even though Tank has been consistent with what he said he wanted out of boxing, you can't tell nobody 100%. Look, I ain't gonna fight none of these. Like, think about it. Now picture, level with me. Imagine him coming out and saying, man, you know what? All these guys that asking me to fight, I'm never gonna fight them, and I'm gonna fight whoever I want. He ain't never said that. And I think if you say that, I think it hits the people a bit different, bro. I don't think the people will receive you the same way. But I think as long as you just continue to fight and win, you get what I'm saying? You get me? Then people was cool with it. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's a lot to unpack, but can you ultimately criticize a fighter for not prioritizing the big fights? You can, but I just don't remember when he ever told me that he would. You know what I mean? Now, a couple interviews where he like, yo, I got a list and I'm gonna fight this one and this one. That shit to me, man, I be taking that stuff with a grain of salt because I know it don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Them lists, like I always take them shits with a grain of salt. Very rarely will you see somebody come up with a list and be able to actually make it through the list. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear this shit, so listen, I'm not gonna lie and say he didn't tell you that he was gonna fight these dudes because he did. He did tell you that, but I think ultimately what we're seeing is what his true intentions was, and that was to make money. Like the Queen said, beat poverty. Yeah, he sold us that you was one of them guys, and I think we still look at him as one of the best. It's just gonna be a question mark there as to how good. You know what I'm saying? How good are you? We'll never know without fighting those guys. So again, that's just me, man. That's how I look at it, man. I think you know, you get programmed to think a certain way. I think it really gets in your head, bro. Like and look, furthermore, I'll tell y'all why I think this way. Tell me a time where it ever sounded like the powers that be was looking to make those fights. Every time I hear Leonard Ellerby talk about him fighting anybody that's somebody we want to see fight, it's resistance. It's like, man, we don't really need them, man. We the boss. We the A-side. We do this, man. We do what we want. Da, 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 da. And the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. You get what I'm saying? I think people see Tank as a meal ticket and an investment. And I think people wanted to make sure they can continue to keep that shit and the money flowing in. So, and then when they found out that they can make money consistently without having to fight these guys. Now, I ain't saying it's right or wrong, but that's how I feel. Nobody would be able to move and do what Tank is doing and have the same exact success. Nobody at 35 could duplicate that. Fighting them same exact guys and do the numbers. So you get what I'm saying? If you thinking in terms of business and investment wise, they like, man, so we could take the less riskier fights and still make really good money, great money. I think that's what they was going to do. Is it shitty to the boxing world and the boxing fans? Yeah, it is. Do it look like you avoiding top competition? Yeah, it do. But it is what it is, man. I think it's a nasty business, bro. It's a nasty business. Bet. I got you, ETB. You already know. Know what I'm saying? I like to hear from the other side because, look, I'm not making no excuse for him. I just come from a place where I try to understand what I'm watching. And it's easy to keep getting up here talking about duck this, duck that. This one is ducking. That one is ducking. It just gets silly after a while. And before you know it, you saying everybody's ducking, right? So I'm just not into that. So my final thoughts on if Tank ducked any of these guys, I would say nah. But I think the programming set in. I think the years of telling him that he is the man. I think the proof with the numbers and no matter who he fight, it made them complacent, comfortable, and they had no reason to go outside of what they've already been doing, right? They've unlocked the key that not many are able to unlock. Not too many people are able to get into the sport of boxing and not fight the absolute best or go after the toughest fights and make that kind of money. That's why I say he's a bit of an anomaly. And I think the powers that be always influenced him to continue to take fights that would almost for sure them to continue to make money. Now, could you still criticize him for it? Yeah, but I look at the way he was brought into the game and the shit he was taught. Floyd Mayweather ain't never told him to chase no Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and none of them. He waited till they wasn't cool no more and then started saying he got to fight those guys. You get what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, yeah, the fighter is ultimately accountable for his decisions that he made. But I think when you're a young guy coming into the game and you learning from one of the best, it's easy to kind of buy into the shit that he's selling you. And then furthermore, it's very easy to buy into the system that he sold you, but very difficult to break away from it. And that's what we're seeing now. People want him to break away from, I think, the shit that it's been drilled and embedded into his head since he got with Mayweather. I think it's always been told that you the man, even without these guys, right? Think about it. Floyd got a lot of criticism for moving him the way he moved himself when he was Money May. They said, man, that was the frustration. They're like, yo, what happened to Pretty Boy Floyd? You would think he would get Tank and move him like he moved when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, but that wasn't the case. He's seen money, he's seen dollar signs, and so did so many other people in his circle. And I think it's a lot of people that get paid when he fights, a lot of money on the table when he fight. And if that's your investment and you already know he's comfortable with letting you bring him fights, you get what I'm saying? We're never going to get those fights unless he demand them. And we already know he don't do that. So it's like, you get me? They've convinced him, look, you don't got to call people out. You can just sit back and we're going to make it happen for you. And that's what's been going on. So now that he stepped away, I think, you know, it's hard to break away from the system that's been embedded and drilled into his head since day one, since he turned pro, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. You get where I'm going with it, right? Like, what I'm saying is it's a conversation. Everything I'm saying ain't right, but I ain't wrong either. It's just a train of thought that I have, like when it comes to this career, because it's not as simple as just labeling them some bum or a guy that's ducking. It's like, it's very complex, I believe his situation is. And I think most people tend not to even try to understand it. They just label, look, he don't want the smoke, he don't want to fight. And I get it, but you can't tell me that's not the way he's been taught. Like, they guided him in the direction that he moves in now. Like, now you don't need these guys. And that shit, that was the biggest detriment, I think. You get what I'm saying? And you mix that with the success that he had. not fighting these guys, you're comfortable. I make money. I knock shit out. I go home. People show up. My numbers still good. My pay-per-views are fine. What they talking about? These do. And then now think about how he start talking. What these other guys doing? They ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? What they doing? Then guys going over to Saudi Arabia. He feel like they selling out. I can sell over here. It starts to be I'm doing me without y'all. Can y'all do what I'm doing without me? And that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be no matter what money you bring into the table, you fighting the best competition when available, when possible, right? And that's just not what we got from Tank. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Tank beat those guys up in training. James was good with it. You never know. Never know. One person who for sure don't care who Tank fight, Tom or Tim Brown, he turned red from smiling at every Tank press conference from the money he know he will make. And that's what I'm saying, Reef. I want to be very clear. You know, this is not a diss to Tank, and this is not me trying to shoot him bail money, but this is me having a conversation where I'm telling you this is how I see his career and why I just don't simply label him some duck per se, right? Because I feel like he's a guy that, you know, has been conditioned to think and move a certain way. And that they told him that's what being successful is. You your own man. You don't need these guys. And again, it got him thinking like, you know, look, I can get the hell up out of here and I ain't got to fight none of these dudes. And is that something that resonates with us? No, but do you think they care? You think they care about their bottom line and making money, or what you think about at home? You think they care more about us calling Tank a duck or them making money off Tank when he fight? You get what I'm saying? So, nah, to me, it just was a complex situation. It was like, I don't want to call it brainwashing, but they condition him to feel and think that he can exist in this space without ever having to fight the guys that you want to see him fight the most. And that's very consistent with his energy, the way he speaks about the contemporaries. Like, yeah, he'll say he'll fight this one or beat this one up, but then the effort to actually fight him or the resistance that's put up when it's time to fight him is you know, keep people scratching their head or keep some people just flat out saying he a duck. But like I said, I just reserve that judgment to call him a duck, man. I think some shit is deeper than that. And I think in the day we in now, where everybody got their hand out, everybody trying to get their palms greased, everybody's trying to make money, everybody is greedy in the sport. When you see a guy that's able to break the mold where you like, oh shit, y'all. And look, I can be all wrong, but this is how I see it. Oh shit, y'all. Damn, yo, you seen the numbers he did and he fought him. Then you go fight another guy and you do it again, like, oh shit. Just good numbers. And then before you know it, you cultivated a situation in a career where this guy is going to make money regardless. That's a bit of an anomaly. Who else do you know that could just fight anybody and it's going to do great? It's going to do really well enough for them to continue to do it time and time again. So I think it's a complex situation. Yeah, if you want to reduce it to the fighter, if you want to say, look, you in control of your own career, you bugging for not giving us the fights. I'm not tripping on that. But I just think it's a more, you know, complex conversation, man. It's a more detailed conversation than just saying somebody ducking. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a lot of business that go into that guy fighting, bro. And I wish I knew more as to exactly how many people look or stand to make money when he fights. Because if we found that out, that probably would make a lot more sense as to why they're doing exactly what they're doing, right? And I said this before multiple times. I'll say it again. If you're in business, right? And the only reason I'm saying that because we always say boxing is a business. If you're in business, right, and you have an investment in business, do you put that investment in a situation or position to constantly succeed? You get what I'm saying? Now, you could say, yeah, some people in business, they take risks. But if you don't have to take risks, and you figured out a formula that's going to constantly guarantee you success and money, viewership, you're going to stay that path. And I think that's really what his career has been. They stayed the path. You could call it the path of the least resistance. You could say, yeah, he ain't prioritized. You could even call him a duck if that's what you want to do. But like I said, for me, that's why I hear this shit all the time. And I just think it's a far deeper discussion than just labeling the guy some type of duck or saying he don't want to fight You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You get what I'm saying? You never know. But like I said, wouldn't it be better? Like, wouldn't it be better if when we did hear Floyd speak, he was talking about putting them in there with these other guys and not talking about making money with them and making them a superstar and how much money they can make, right? It would be easier to look at him like, all right, man, you really ain't want these fights, but I don't think they wanted the fights for him neither. So if you got a guy in a situation where you convinced him like call outs is not necessary for you, you don't even got to ask. We just sit back and we got you. All you do is train, knock these guys out. They're going to take advantage of that. And I think they've taken advantage of that. His willingness to allow them to do their job, sit back and bring him the fights. And then the success that he's had is hard to argue with the natural order of things. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, man. It's a lot, but it just is what it is, man. It's boxing. You know what I'm saying? And once upon a time, you know, he might have sold us that he was going to chase certain fights, but I think these guys all do that, man. I think when you see how he actually moved, it's not, you know, consistent with chasing these guys down. So, yeah, James. I mean, that's really what it was, man. At the end of the day, he's boxing for money, man. That guy definitely boxing for money. Definitely. You know what I mean? Definitely. I mean, I think he made that clear too. You know, so I don't know, man. And then look, to be real, like he said as much. Like he don't want to get embarrassed. He don't want to lose, right? Think about losing. Dudes don't want to take losses and shit like that. So that's a real thing too. You know, you might want to retire on top. Get what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's unfortunate. I wish we could have got these fights. But like I said, I just won't fully blame a young kid that didn't know the business of boxing and got taught and bred to, you know, move a certain way and was always told that these guys need you. You don't need them. Think about that. They never told you like he needed this specific dance partner to be the guy because they done found that little crack in you know what I'm saying, in the wall. Like they done found that little slither where they was able to kind of go outside of the natural order of things. Like everybody can't do and move the way he do. Some guys would be incentivized to take those more dangerous fights because that's the only way they'll get the recognition or the money. He got the recognition and the money fighting whoever. Tell me he didn't. To a degree, his people, the powers that be, and the fans created that beast. That's what I'm saying. Like he got all the recognition. You got people saying Tank beats everybody from 130 to 147. You have people that'll say that. So that just, you know, makes my point furthermore. He had the recognition without having to fight the most dangerous guys. And that's something that you can, when you look at anybody else, can't really say they got that. Haney had to fight he had to fight the Lomas. You get what I'm saying? And move up. He got a couple solid wins. You got T.O. with the Loma win, and he got a few solid wins, right? And he still don't get the money. Devin Haney he got some of the names, but he make the money, but not the same money. You get what I'm saying? He's not the kind of attraction that Tank is. Tank success, if you just looked at numbers and what he's been able to do, it would look like he was giving you the most dangerous fight every single time or giving you the best possible opponent every single time. The success that follows his fights would indicate that that's what he's doing. And I think that shit could become intoxicating. You, after a while, you doing this shit, you start to believe your own shit. Like, look, I'm doing this because it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and say I'm doing something wrong, right? The people, the numbers, like I said, that shit all suggests that you're doing some shit that you should be doing. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's tough, bro. It's tough. So I mean, boxers get dirty in this game financially even today. I'm mad at Tank for getting his coins. That's always the possibility too. Reef, you either finesse or get finesse. You get what I'm saying? Either finesse or get finesse. My bad, y'all. I had to get something to drink. But yeah, so yeah, man. I think he was taught the game a certain way, and I think he stuck to the script. And I think by the time he broke away from Floyd and people started asking him to do something different, I think he was already, the monster was already created. I mean, I think the path was already etched in stone, right, for him. Like, nah, this is what I'm on. This is how I'm moving. Damn. Hold on, I got something in my eye. Yeah. Y'all hit that like button for your boy. We gonna keep building. Oh, man. Man, eyes burning. Somebody cutting onions. Eric, what it do, homie? So you make a good case. DUCKED talk, my guy. What's good with it? Monster, I see the wordplay. Eyelash or something, man. Should start burning the hell out of my eye. 12 threes start tearing me up. But yeah. So I don't know. You know, the thing about me, I'm not a guy that's up here telling y'all everything I'm saying is right. I'm not a right or wrong dude. I'm not trying to be right or wrong. I'm just giving you a fair assessment of how I see things. And I think it's very reasonable to believe that, you know, the man has been conditioned to not chase the absolute best. They never told him to. In fact, they made case after case that you didn't need none of these guys. And then when you, like I said, when you get these pay-per-view numbers that they speak of and how everybody talk about you, he's got all the recognition that most guys get if they were fighting the best in the world. So it's like, do I stop doing what I'm doing? This shit is for sure money, right? Do I disrupt the natural order of things and start demanding that y'all give me certain fights? You get what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's scared of these guys, but got to be something. And it's programming. I'm telling you, you get a guy that don't know the game and they feel like what you taught him was the game. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. Dante's boxing talk. What it do, homie? Was Tank could fight anybody and the pay-per-view would be off the chart. And you get what I'm saying, Lisa? That's what I think he was. That's what I think he was told. Like, yo, bro, you ain't got to fight them. And if I'm wrong, somebody point at a time where they pushed him towards those guys. I think it was about money. They sold him the dream about money. They know he needed money. They knew what his situation was. They told him, look, this is how you do it, youngin. And he said, okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? If I tell you, I give a damn sure when be on after fans type time, social media got cats thinking their own opinion actually valid. Like, for me, they think the opinion like weighs into the fighters' moves, right? Like the opinions of us don't matter. Like they don't care what we think. You get what I'm saying? Shout out to Jose. I try my best, bro. I try my best to keep it straight down the middle. Fight Night is making a new video game. Broly, what it do? I seen something about that early. I ain't really clicked the video though. What's good with it? Y'all double tap the screen. We gonna keep building. And if y'all wanted somebody want to come up, the link is in the joint, man. Y'all know where the link is at. But we gonna keep talking about it. So, like I said, man, none of these fighters need no bail money. That's just the way I see it, bro. Like I said, you still can hold them accountable for not giving you what you asked for as a fan, right? You got some people that feel like you spend so much money and you support it so heavily, at least give us 1 or 2 of those fights. And I can understand them sentiments. I bought the pay-per-views too. I supported the career of Tank Davis too. But for me, why I ain't tripping? And yeah, hell yeah, I want to see those fights. But I ain't tripping because I know I can't control it. And I know the bullshit that's been being pushed into his head because a lot of those things have been said publicly on public platforms and interviews, press conferences, and different things like that. They're very consistent about that. And like Queen just said, man, they'll tell them, look, you can fight whoever you want. Your numbers are going to be there. You got it. You got the people. You a star. You a superstar. And that's what he continued to be, a superstar without those names. So ultimately, like I said, without the names on his resume, it'll just be, I guess, a gap in his resume or a hole there, or he'll just leave a lot to be desired because he hasn't fought these guys. You get what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. I just think he found a way to get his money that he wanted. Yeah, he might have sold us that, like ETB say, he might have sold you some things, but I think that shit just come with the game. It's unfortunate, but ultimately, the proof was always there because you could say a lot of stuff, right? I could get up here and say anything, but ultimately what I do is going to matter more than what I say. And when you look at what he did versus what he said, you can see, you know what I'm saying? It's something there. There's something there. Definitely something there. Sometimes we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, that's a lot of times. That's most times we don't know what be going on behind the scenes with these fighters. You know what I mean? But like I said, for me, I'm pretty comfortable with the assessment that I have, right? I'm fair enough and open enough to leave room for anybody to see it a different way. I get it with the duck talk for some people, like, nah, that's ducking, man. He ain't trying to fight nobody. But when a guy tell you he don't care about legacy, I only need to hear that once. I don't need to hear you repeat that. I only need to hear that shit once. And when I hear you say that, you don't care about belts and you want to leave and all that, I'm like, Then you see how he move, and it's very consistent with what he's saying. So it's like, nah, I ain't giving y'all these fights. And I think in his mind, he feel like he's giving us fights and he's giving us entertainment, and we just don't appreciate it. You know, he seemed like recently he spoke about how the fans switch up and all that different stuff like that. The fans switch up. I mean, to a degree, yeah, it's true. You know, fans will switch, but I don't think he can make that case, though. I don't think he can make a case for fans switching up on him, because his fights always do well. So have they really switched up on you, or has the social media opinion shifted to a degree where people are willing to say, you know, they don't think you are who you are, you know what I'm saying, or who they've sold you as all these years, right? Just a really good fighter, a really good prize fighter, right? You're not one of the best, and I mean, it's tough, bro. So ultimately, man, it's up to him. And I think if he can make peace with it, shit, I definitely ain't gonna lose no sleep over him not fighting. But I just call it what it is. He didn't prioritize the fights. Do I think he wanted these guys? No. And I think he was perfectly comfortable just, you know, accepting what come with it. You know what I mean? And just going the path that they laid out for him. That's what I think. I don't think there's been a fallout to try to do anything different. Like, I don't think it's been a struggle for him. Oh, well, we're going to start fighting this or doing that. Nah, I just think it's business as usual with him. And I think he like, yo, you got my money. I bet I'm going to train and I'm going to go beat. This is who I'm fighting, bet. So I don't think he ever said, hey, give me this guy specifically or give me that guy. And again, if you're going to allow the business to make your fights for you, then they're going to put guys in there that they think that you have a really, really good chance at beating. So what? They keep the money coming in. So that's my biggest reason for, or should I say one of the biggest reasons why we haven't seen certain fights. I think he's an investment that people want to continue to make their money on. Period. You get what I'm saying? I don't think they, you get me? I don't think they really cared about, you know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to really think about it. Where this criticism is not louder than the end result. You get what I'm saying? The end result is the numbers, the pay-per-views, the money he made. That shit is very loud. Like, the social media voice got some, you know what I mean? It travels, but it don't travel further than what the end result is each and every time you get in the ring. So that's all I can say, man. Like, the criticism is one thing, and then there are the results. And I think when he weigh his options, he like, you know, you got the criticism there, and then you got the results and the money. He gonna keep dealing with. He gonna go that way. The results and the money. It's hard to go against what's been working. So that's why I said, not that I would ever want to see a fight of his flop or a pay-per-view flop, but I'm just interested from a business standpoint or from a competitive standpoint. If in fact you had a flop, right, or maybe one of your fights just didn't do what it was normally, you know, what it normally does, or you're not able to make the money without fighting those guys, then I think you might have seen those fights. But I just don't think it was enough incentive there, and I don't think it was in him and in his heart is to try to be the greatest ever. Even if he might have sold that for a quick minute, I just don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he really cared about that as much as people do, and he ultimately, like, I think he cared about this move right here. It backs up a lot of what I said, man. The money is the most important result to him. You get what I'm saying? Coming from where he come from, the most important result, money. I can't be mad, man. I could be mad, but I choose not to. It's a waste of energy. Shout out to my dog, Broly, man, gifting that membership. Appreciate you, brother. We're going to keep cooking for a bit, man. We got a couple more narratives that we're going to get on, too,
and
man.
we ain't never got a box again. Well, I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to get your just due.
Shout out to my dog. Bro, we appreciate you. I had that with the traumas experiencing AB and Earl taking L's and the fan bases. It all makes sense. Yeah, I think, you know, the way I think it's some contributing factors too. Seeing people take L's and how they get treated when they lose, I think that plays in his mind. Fan bases like switching up, dragging guys, like ultimately that's not the end all be all, but I think it plays a factor because you hearing more and more fighters speak on how they get treated after they lose a fight now. I'm hearing that more consistently than I've ever heard it. So they pay attention, bro. They be paying attention to what's going on. Man, to be honest. But let's keep rolling, man. So ultimately, man, there's gonna be people that say, yeah, look, he's a duck. He didn't want to fight nobody. He ducked Loma. Way back in the day, he ducked Shakur. He ducked Devin. He ducked. That's not my fight. I don't see it that way. He just didn't make them guys priority, and that's obvious. He didn't say, oh, I need that guy. I want to fight that guy. He didn't demand him or none of the stuff that I think he would be able to do in his position. But like I said before, his results probably was one of the biggest reasons why he stayed into what he been into, on the same type of shit he been on to. Devin got cheated and he broke a TV with excitement. He's stupid. Our Kaiser Crush sell out for pick David Benavidez to be Anthony Yard. Sell. Shit. Benavidez gonna beat Yard in my opinion too. But yeah, man. So I don't know. McQueen in the back. What it do? What's good with it, bro?
What's good?
Yeah, no.
Good afternoon to the people. Another beautiful day. We got Just Do out here, giving boxing his props, giving us the broader perspective.
Turn right.
And out there,
I do believe that, yes, sir. But I do believe that once upon a time, Tank's aspirations were different.
Turn right on.
Talk to me.
There was the video where Coach Calvin was saying that Tank came to him and said, Coach, I had a dream. I seen it. I had all the belts on me.
Right.
So then what happens is, and I believe this to be the case for nearly all of us, right? When you're a kid and your teacher asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Hardly do you ever mention the monetary aspect of any pursuit. It's like, man, I want to be a fireman because you want to save people. I want to be a police officer because you want to enact change. You want to be a basketball player because you want to be the greatest. And then something happens. You embark on the journey, and if you're fortunate enough to stick with it and have the fervor to actually pursue it, you start to realize that this is only one aspect of it. There's a whole nother side of it.
Right.
This shit is business. So that young kid who wanted to be a politician because he wanted to enforce change and so on and so forth, he realizes that it doesn't benefit the system to change things. So then you start to go along to get along. And the same can be said for boxing. You know, enter Floyd Mayweather, and I guarantee you, Tank was thinking it was all about the belts and it was all about this, that, and the third. And this man is telling you about sanctioning. You're like, what the hell is that? Oh, so you mean I got to pay to be the champion? Talking about recouping and so on and so forth and making money. So you mean to tell me, you know what I mean? XYZ, we got to appease these people and so on and so forth. Like you was just saying a couple of minutes ago, it's not up to these fighters ultimately. And if the promoters, the broadcasters, and so on and so forth, there's a whole lot of palms that got to get greased.
Right.
These people are going to do anything that they can to extend the money train and reduce the risk of derailing said money train.
Right.
So you're going to put them in there with guys that, although they are a risk, they are a slighter risk in various forms, whether it just be from a competition standpoint or if it's a situation where it's in-house. So even if that guy does lose, now we can just pivot to him. Like imagine being in the casino and right now you're not doing too well over at the slot machine. So you print out your voucher, and you like, F this, I'm gonna cash this, I'm gonna get some chips. Now I'm gonna go try my hand at the blackjack table. So I'm gonna
Right.
take my money from over here and put it over there.
Right.
And then for us, the fans, we're still believing in legacy and parity and meritocracy. So we push all of these things because we think that this guy should be fighting this guy because that is his only route
Right.
to immortality and to the bag.
Right.
But as you pointed out, bro, that's not always the case. You got some guys who are anomalies where people deal with the people like them for them. And it doesn't matter who the hell they fight, people are going to tune in.
Right.
And let me also say this. Just because the people that they choose are not the ones that we don't like doesn't necessarily mean that they were just completely cannon fodder or just trash.
Right.
Because again, like, you know, a guy like Leo Santa Cruz, that's a real fight.
Yeah.
That dude's a damn 4-division champion. Now, he's not Shakur Stevenson from a skill standpoint, but he's also not a cupcake either.
Right. Right. All right, I get that. I get that, ETB. A lot of people say that too, drop the belts. Because that's why I say certain stuff. I'm open to the conversations. Like, I'm not, like, objected to. I understand why people say it. But in a situation like that, I just expect boxing to do their job. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? We shouldn't even have to demand that they do their job. Just keep it fair. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it fair. So
the question would be to the WBA, do they want him to drop the belts? Because if it were all about integrity and so on and so forth, it's like, bro, you doing X, Y, Z, we just gonna take them from you. But they're likely gonna extend his leash and be lenient with him in the hopes that he fights at 135 again and he's defending those titles, and they get 3% of whatever the hell his purse is, because you know that it's gonna be substantial.
telling you that I'm telling you, I think a lot of that shit just was money motivated, bro. Found them a meal ticket and they was cashing in.
Yep.
I'm telling you, and constantly programming them to not think that you need to do anything different than what you've been doing. You good. You don't need these guys, they need you. I'm telling you, I said the writing on the wall. That's why I
Based
say
on the system, that's absolutely correct, though. I mean, based on the way that things work, because again, this is not about competition. It's not about purity. It's not about integrity of sport and so on and so forth. That's what they sell us. Because like you said before, if they were to say, well, we're just going to have Tank Davis fight whoever the hell he wants to fight because we know you're going to buy it anyway, who the hell would tune in?
Right.
But they sell us the knockouts, the power, the speed, the this, the that, the swagger.
Right. Right. Like Banks, what it do, homie? Yeah, man, that's true. True. Yeah, I just be ignoring some of these people are weird, but yeah, man, I think that, like I said, man, when you bringing in that kind of bread in a sport where you got vultures everywhere, you know what I'm saying? They going, and then like I said, it's the timing that you ran into your guy, your mentor, and he like, man, this is how you get this money. See this shit, and this is how you do it this way. And it seemed like he gave him the remedy to the Money Mayweather blueprint, right? Not the Pretty Boy Floyd. And that's just really what I think. And like I said, you've been doing something so long, being successful. I think it becomes a little difficult to break out of whatever that norm is for you and start doing something different. You get what I'm saying? It's like, damn, man. Especially when they telling you what you're doing is great. You know what I mean? What you're doing is so great. I'm telling you, bro, bigging you up and everybody patting you on the back, telling you job well done, you knocking everybody out. Like, there's no incentive to do anything different. See what it do, homie? Saying heading for the bank and getting the hell out of the way. Yeah, his fans still don't think that, though. So, you know, this was something that I tried out. Facts, False Narratives Friday, man. Another one that I've been seeing people push a lot is you know, Tank can steal Teofimo from Shakur, and they said like he did Lomachenko. I mean, like he did Frank Martin. So that's like a twofer. That's like 2 for 1. For one, if you really followed the situation, you would know Frank Martin pulling out the fight with Shakur Stevenson had nothing to do with Tank. He said that. The own fighter said it out his mouth. He didn't like the money. He seen what Cruz was getting. He had the contract for X amount of hours, sent that shit back, asking for the little Bob Arum explained the situation clearly. He said he asked for a certain amount of money. I thought it was too much from the gate. Then he says, you know what? Fine, we're going to give it to him. Gave it to him, sent the contract over. He said he went over it, whatever. He sent it back, asking for more money. You get what I'm saying? They didn't say, oh, yeah, man, I was going to fight Shakur, but then the Tank fight came, and, nah, don't go like that. So, nah, he didn't steal Frank Martin from Shakur. That's just another narrative to try to make Tank look like he got some type of superpower. And then it confuses the shit out of me because they're telling me, dudes can't make their own fights. The A-sides can't make their fights. But if you can steal a fight from somebody, you damn sure sound like a guy that can make his own fights. You can steal, Frank Martin from Shakur. You can steal Teofimo. Then you can make any fight you want. And, the question I have after shooting that down, because, business don't work like that. One fight don't have nothing to do with the next. You go sign on a contract with somebody, that's your fight. It ain't no, we're going to go steal that fight. Like, they have an imaginary way that they think Tank Davis moves. And I've been hearing people push that shit for quite some time. He can steal such and such from such and such. Bro, that shit have never happened. And you've never seen him steal an opponent. So I don't know where the notion came that he can do this. But it's like on one end, you're telling me he can't make his own fights. And then on the other end, you're telling me he can steal fights from one of the best fighters in the world. Like, and whether he's one of the best fighters or not, but it's like, you really think business work that way? So those are more false narratives. You can't just steal somebody's opponent. And this is the crazy part. Y'all willing to push that he can steal Teo from Shakur. Teo was at 140. Reason I say that 140 is what, y'all? That's a division where he said, he's not going back to. Didn't feel comfortable. He got a win there, got a knockout there. Impressive knockout over Mario Barrios. Impressive out there in Atlanta. Smoked his ass. Fun fight to watch, too. I still like to go back sometime and watch that joint. I like the trunks and everything. I think he flipped off the rope in that one, too, but beat his ass. Good fight. But boxing just don't move the way people say it do. Like, you don't steal fights from nobody. And, why steal a fight? Y'all really think he going to steal a fight at a weight class where he not going back to? Because to steal Teo is the same to say you're going to fight at 140. So you got to make it make sense. You see how quick that go down the drain? That narrative, he could steal. Nah, man, business don't work that way. They don't be sitting there like, man, you see who Shakur about to fight, let's steal. Like, it don't go that way. I'm pretty sure that nobody's saying let's steal the fight from the next man. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more garbage. There's zero proof whatsoever that Frank Martin was ever a fight that was taken from anybody, right? Frank Martin was just what it was. There was an unfortunate situation where a guy asked for a certain amount of money from what the promoter said. He got that certain amount of money, then sent the contract back asking for more money. Not saying, I'm asking for more money because I got a Tank fight, or ultimately pulling out, he said, because he wasn't able to get that little that he wanted. And then comes the Tank fight, and that's no surprise there because it's on that side. It's damn near an in-house fight for them. And on top of that, I know Frank Martin don't got the experience Shakur got. He don't get paid the money Shakur got. So who do you go fight? You don't got the experience, but you going to get paid. And you don't got to pay him. What Shakur gets paid is easy decision, man, to go fight Frank Martin. So I think those two fights didn't have anything to do with each other. I think it just worked out that way. And it also goes to show you that 135 is just not that deep. It's not that deep of a division, bro. It's kind of thin up there at the top, which is why we interchange the same names over and over and over again. You get what I'm saying? We interchange these names over and over again. And it's just not that many guys there. So, yeah, he fought him, but still in the Teofimo. Why? To never go to 140? Make it make sense, because he said he's not going back there. But his fans will tell you that he'll do this and he'll go back up to 140. I doubt it. I doubt it. He's based on what he said. I thought he was consistent with that. Maybe it'll be some type of incentive to do that if he decided to come back at their Jake Paul fight, but I don't see it. So as far as stealing fights and stealing TO, it just don't make sense. And furthermore, why still and this is how you know certain people don't really care to see fights the way they say. Why would you think about him stealing Teo from Shakur instead of stealing Shakur from Teo when Shakur is already at 135 pounds where he comfortably fights at? You see what I'm saying? False narratives of stealing fights. You have no record of this where you've done these things. You haven't done it. So I think that's just something unrealistic that his fans think. They must think like he's Superman, but on the next token, they'll tell you he can't make his fights. You know what I'm saying? He's not responsible for making his fights. Guys got to come to him and make the fight. So this is a bunch of BS. So on one end, he'll take somebody fight, but then when it's time to make a fight with one of the contemporaries, it's up to them to make the fight with him. I don't get it. So I say it's just all narrative driven shit. At the end of the day, man, they don't think or move that way. They're not thinking like, let's steal fights. They're thinking, obviously, based on how they've been moving, let's put him in situations where he can win and make money. And we all can keep making money and keep the gravy train rolling. I know it might sound unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, that bag is going to be the first thing in mind anytime a fight of his ever gets made, I think. So you Tank do something he just say he won't do. Yeah, cooking with Sir Senior, bro. I've seen it all over Twitter. I've seen it. Like they argue everything. Like the latest argument is that he's not retiring, even despite him saying it. They're like, nah, he's not retiring. I don't know why y'all somebody said that. Why y'all keep saying that? I'm like, bro, he keeps saying it. But he ain't doing it. It's like, no, you asked the question. I'm telling you why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because he's saying it. So, like, nah, but he said that before. And then they be like, didn't Shakur say that stop mixing fighters? He ain't Shakur. They not in the same situation. That dude sound like he had enough of the game recently. Like he had enough and he ready to get the hell up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Old school, what it do, homie?
That's something that occurs frequently, man, with these debates and back and forth. The mixture of points, taking one talking point that happened in a debate or an argument with somebody else and applying them somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
Misapplying them, I should say.
Majestic, man. I'm telling you, facts. Even though he said it, they'll still argue you down. Yeah, you gonna believe him? I'll believe what he do, not what he say. Well, you believe he's still in fights. Have you ever seen him do that? Why the hell you believe that? But you don't believe what he's saying. Okay, bet. Did you believe him when he said they're gonna be mad about my next fight? You know what I mean? Did you believe him when he said the guy was in his locker room? Get what I'm saying? Like, y'all just choose. You believe what you want to believe. Like I said, for me, it's not a bad thing. It's like I hear it consistently being said, from different sources, different people close to him, cool with him, that know him personally. Then you hear it multiple times out of his mouth. And then you see the move that he make that looks like it'll set you up for life after boxing. And there you go. It's written on the wall. You're going to have to gain weight for this fight. How much weight remains to be seen. How you going to look is something crazy. And then you talk about coming back down to lightweight, which is tough. What's the incentive? After you just made 150 million, that's what they said he making. So I'm going to just say what the fans are saying.
Maybe there's wishful thinking that he does what Andre Ward spoke about, which is secure the bag, go for the legacy afterwards. Because after that point, it don't even really matter, right? If you're already set. Now you can, quote unquote, challenge yourself.
True indeed. Can only go off what they say until they show otherwise. That's true. That's true. They said Shakur's tweeted and pretend tweet delete all the time. Yeah, he do. I like the fact that Core played into that. The thing is, they say he tweet all the time and he don't fight. But we know just based off the accolades alone and some of the guys he got in the ring with that's not true. And I said it before. My only argument to anybody that give him a tough time is about who he fight is just show me a time where he turned down a fight with somebody. Anybody that he was named, scheduled to fight or rumored to fight. Show me a time where he was the one that was like, nah, I don't want this fight. Show me a time. Like, still to this day, they still talk about Devin Haney. I'm like, bro, that man vacated and moved the hell up. Like they said they was going to do on that tape. That's over with. They'll come back. Maybe he'll land at 47 because I doubt he'll make 135 after this. Shit, I doubt that. I don't think we'll ever see him at 47 because he's so small. Unless it's like a one-off fight that he feel like he could win. or that they feel like makes sense and makes money, dollars some type of way. But I don't know. That's gonna be tough. I don't really see Corey at 47 either. Manny, hey, you might be right though, Matt. You might be right. It was some talk or some rumor about him potentially fighting Manny Pacquiao. It was some rumor about him fighting Manny Pacquiao after Jake Paul, but shit, they might be cashing Pacquiao in with Roach. I mean, not Roach, Rolly. I meant to say, yeah, Rolly, big Rolo the Dome.
What happens if somehow, some way, Manny Pacquiao is able to pull off the unthinkable? That makes sense then, because then now it's another big fight.
Right.
And for the legacy junkies out there, they could go up to 147, potentially win a title up there, multi-division champ, so on and so forth. A lot of this stuff is propaganda. Much of it.
Money, yeah, that shit'll make some money. It'll make money. It'll damn sure, and that's what they on. So if it make money, it makes sense for them. We'll come back and steal the Pac-Man fight now. And now that's something Floyd to do. That's something Floyd to do. That's right up his damn alley. That's something his ass to do.
There were reports a few weeks ago of him entertaining the idea of fighting in a professional fight again. So that wouldn't be surprising if he were to do that. And then also, I'm not sure if Rolly is still over there with TMT, is he? Or has he parted ways with them?
I don't think he's still over there. It's like they roster is decimated, bro. I don't know what the hell like going on with them.
If that were the case, though, you saying what's the name out there is kind of like the crash test dummy. Let him canvas the scene, see what Pac-Man got left, and then you set up the rematch, And instead of it being in what do you call it, an exhibition, now it's a title fight. That makes sense.
Yeah. We're gonna come back like peekaboo. Nah,
Floyd
but I
get
think
another bag, no ski mask.
I think Youngin just planning his exit strategy, man. It's coming at a time where it looked like he was primed to start moving towards those fights and those guys, man. But I just don't think that's in the plans for him. Shout out to my dog, son of God. What's good with it, man? Just a pistol and tank and money grab at the same time. Yeah, you know how he do. His little personals he be having with Tank Davis. Back and forth, little hidden competition. No Floyd want to be the man. You know what I'm saying? He like that attention. Like the attention. That's why he'd come drop some shit just out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere. He'd just come drop shit out of nowhere, bro. Now he did it with the Tyson shit. He started talking Tank too much. Here he come. Exhibition. I was like, damn, man, bro, Floyd don't miss a beat with his petty ass. And it just be right on point, too. It'd be right on point. So, yeah, man. It's a lot of false narratives going around in boxing, man. And Tank ain't still in no fights because that's not how he move, how business is done. Frank Martin is no proof of that, man. The man pulled out because of money, not because he had another opportunity. He even did an interview that'll let you know exactly why he pulled out because he spoke on it. So that pretty much ends that, man. The Tank ducking Loma shit is garbage, and Loma ducking him is also garbage. Like I said, if it was anybody who could remotely say he ducked, it would be Shakur because he fought somebody else after saying no to him. But Tank, he already retired. He was planning on retiring since the Devin Haney loss. He had to get coerced and convinced to fight Kambosos, which he did. Look phenomenal doing it, and I think he just wanted to retire on a high. Like, you get me? Maybe he thought about it for a second, and then he was like, you know what? Nah, because, you know, Bob Arum said it was going to really be up to, you know, what the doctor said. It just wasn't even up to Loma. So you never know, like, what they told him, man. My thing is, fighting a younger, dangerous guy, and you got back issues, bro, getting older, longer in the tooth. That might be a bad day for you. You know what I'm saying? So
shoulder and wrist too, man. This guy's had a battery of injuries, bro. And I salute Loma for that too, because he was fighting through a lot of stuff like a G. Like right after that Teofimo Lopez fight, he got shoulder surgery. I think he might have had 2 and a wrist surgery as well. Because when the Tank fight was happening, I did my little research on his injury history, and I was like, damn, he was fighting through a lot of stuff. And it's
Loma,
probably only gonna get worse as you get older. Generally, those type of issues, especially the back, is chronic.
Yeah.
Backs don't just get better overnight. Ask Larry Johnson about that, or Tracy McGrady. Once your back is fried, it's a wrap. You at the mercy of however you feeling on a day-to-day basis, and that's the worst place to be. To your point, to be in the middle of the fight and then all of a sudden have your back seize up or something like that, and it's like, damn, not now.
I'm telling you, and you in there with somebody that'll knock your head through the rafters somewhere. You was in bad shape. That is not a good situation to be in at all.
Especially if one of your strong points is your mobility, and now you're hampered by a bad back. Hell no.
That's I always thought logically. I was like, bro, that man relies so much on movement, man. Like it just would not be smart for you to fight anybody for that matter, let alone a guy that could send you to retirement with a back issue. It just don't make a lot of sense. Think Bo would change his style due to his surgery. Oh, Beevil, my bad. Beevil. You said Beevil?
Possibly. He may. He may. I will say this. He did fight a relatively different style versus Arthur Peterviev. It wasn't really too much pendulum. He wasn't in and out versus him for a majority of the fight. He was noticeably more, I don't want to use the word flat, but
grounded.
The word is escaping. Yeah, a little bit more grounded. But he wasn't bouncing. Yeah. He wasn't bouncing like in and out.
I think he's trying to conserve some energy with that. Trying to conserve because you gonna need it to push down the end of that fight with that dude, man. Better be, because he pretty good gas tank and keep coming. So maybe he's trying to conserve some gas by not moving so much.
Hey, that's reasonable. And also, this guy's a pretty damn good body puncher too.
Yeah.
And your body, the body attacks, man, is gonna sap that energy. So you got to make sure that tank is as close to optimal as possible.
Facts.
Walk around, be bouncing on your toes, and getting hit to the body at the same time. You burning the candle at both ends.
Right, man. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Well, let's keep building, man. I ain't got a whole lot. I just wanted to shoot down some of these narratives today, man, and expose them. I just think it's bad for the sport to continue to push things that are not true or realistic. You get me? An effort to try to make a fighter look like Superman, and then in the next breath, you strip him of any responsibility to do anything outside of what fighters in his position would do. So it don't make sense. Don't tell me a guy can still fights and tell me he can't make any fight he want. That definitely do, especially when he got his people on his team selling us that for years on end, right? So, I mean, I'm only going to go off of what they're telling me, man, what they're constantly saying, you know what I'm saying? And we haven't seen it be any other way. Like I said, only still to this day, the only guy that walked away from that opportunity was Loma. Nobody else. The Rayo situation was false because his trainer made it very clear that he wasn't fighting for the rest of the year. He said that he would not fight for the rest of the year, and he had a long training camp, but if they wanted to revisit that for next year, he could do it. But as far as him, returning and jumping back in the ring that fast, nope. He would have been at a disadvantage.
But there was a discrepancy there, though, because Jose Benavidez Sr., who used to manage Rayo, also said that they had an issue because he wanted to make the Tank fight.
Yeah, he did say he did put out a separate statement. I forgot what it was. Somebody did say he said like he was interested, but I definitely heard the one where he was like he's just not fighting for the rest of the year. But I think it's one of the what sounds like what happened, and I could be wrong. You considered it because of what the opportunity is, but then you also think about what your fighter just went through, and you want this dude to be rested and not coming off a long ass grueling training camp, right? You want to come off a bit of rest and go in there rejuvenated if you're gonna take a fight or an opportunity like that. And I think they just won that belt. They weren't trying to go right back down after just coming right up, right? So that's why I looked at that a little like, huh? Like, I get it. He was at 135 one fight ago, but is he really going back down now? I wonder what Ryo gonna go after Gary Antoine beat him like that.
From my understanding, he was they would talk to him going back down on 135. But I would have loved to see him. Me personally, if I was his team, I would have taken the Tank fight because what you just said is an important piece, right? You go down to 135, you don't defend that title, right? You're gonna be fighting against Tank. You get a big bag. You get an opportunity to win his belt. Worst case scenario, you lose, you still get paid, but then you can still go right back to 140.
Right.
Get another payday and still be a champion over there.
Right.
But they were probably also considering maybe possible irreparable damage that may have been done from maybe the fluctuation in weight, maybe the fight itself, maybe the brand in the event that he got sent to meme land. So they probably weighed all those things into, you know what I mean? Take all those things into account. And it's just like, nah, we don't need that.
Meme land hit different.
Yeah, dude. It's way different. That's why a lot of these guys don't want to take these chances because they're thinking about their personal brand.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the real value of the O itself because it represents just like being pristine and almost untouchable in a sense. It's like even with Tank, right? Like now he got that one next to that O, he got that draw. That 30-0, it don't hit the same exact way.
Right.
Because then now it's like, oh, you can't sell to us, you the biggest, baddest thing. I'm going to go tell Lamont. I'm going to go tell Lamont. Remember, don't make me go get Mont. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. It's like the perception is reality for a lot of people. In my eyes, Tank is still a bad motherfucker because, you know what I'm saying? We've seen the guy's body of work. We see the skill set and all those things. But for a lot of people, perception is reality. So the worst thing that possibly could have probably happened for Ryo at that time is, you know, you get knocked out again. Because remember, he did get knocked out by Edwin De Los Santos. So then there was a little bit of a rebuild. And then now you rebrand yourself as a champion. You went in there with Pitbull, 12 grueling rounds, and you was sturdy. You was in there, you look firm. So the last thing you need for him, and it also maybe from a confidence standpoint too, the potential of him getting knocked out again, it's like, how does that weigh on him? Can he come back from that a second time?
Right.
So it's a tricky thing.
That's why I say it's a little complex, right? It's more than just you got a lot to consider, not just the one bag, but his career and how it might look. Like you said, if you go out there and he get his ass sparked again, man, that shit can't be good for him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get it why they didn't take the fight. I feel like I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Cook it with Sir. I think he has challenged himself in ways, though, to be honest with you. I just don't think, and this is something that Justice said, and I'm going to have to borrow this from you. It just didn't come with the package and label that we wanted it to come with. You know, as you always say, my daughter is taller than this guy. My daughter's bigger than this guy. So for you to be 5'5", standing on a phone book, you know what I'm saying, relatively small guy and constantly at the end of a size disadvantage, but you just so happen to have the equalizer in power. It's like folks make it almost what's the word that I want to use? But they just disregard the challenges that he does have because he has power. And there are other things that he's got to navigate. Just think about all the different ways in which we've seen this guy knock somebody out, coming forward, going backwards, in the pocket, in the exchange, setting the trap. So this dude shows a lot of ingenuity in the ring and being able to offset some of the physical disadvantages that he's been faced with. So I think in ways he has challenged himself. And then another point that you made, Justin, I think is something that we got to take into consideration. Yo, you got to fight the killers. You got to fight the killers. How many killers are there realistically? Because there's certain guys, even the ones that are champions, we would still question those wins because they may not be the most established. Like right now, let's say if he were to fight Raymond Morataya, then we'd be asking ourselves, well, who the hell did Raymond Morataya beat?
Right.
So then that's when we pick and choose, and I'm going to include myself as a fan. That's when we pick and choose how substantial being a titleist is.
Right.
And how we view a fight. Or if he were to beat Sam Noakes, then we'd be like, who the hell is this? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but what exactly is a quote unquote setup fight though? Sir, the link is in the thing. It's in the community post.
Yeah, I always put it there. You could click it.
But
Make
I'm
sure
not of the
all
belief
your
that all of his fights are just set up fights. And I think that's where we go a little bit overboard with it. Is he the favorite in these fights? Absolutely. But things happen with favorites all the time, right? Like Bruno Saras. Who the hell had that on their bingo card? You met Jaime Munguia going in there with an unknown, unheralded French dude with 4 or 5 knockouts to his credit.
right.
And then there 30 fights and he getting sparked out by a single shot after we just seen him go 12 with Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
Or go 12 with Sergey Derevianchenko or with what's the other dude? So I think we just go a little bit overboard. So like yeah, we can have the criticisms. I would have liked to see him fight this guy, that guy, but to just reduce his entire career or to reduce him to being a farce, I think that's where we go a little bit. I'm not gonna say a little bit. That's where we go overboard with it. It's like I think
Mm-hmm.
keeping this proper context. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that the man's got the greatest resume, but I'm also not gonna say that his whole career is Universal Circus or some shit like that. Like it's the
Right.
Harlem Globetrotters. Like, nah.
Right.
I think his resume is legit. Nothing more or less. I
Right.
just think it's legit. It's a solid resume. It's a sound resume.
Yeah. And there's always gonna be leave something to be desired because we, you know what you want to see, but still a solid resume. It just ain't one where you're gonna be bragging and it's a lot more out there, but or it's considerable fights out there, but it is what it is. But they got two of his former opponents fighting
Man,
each
if
other,
Tank
man.
don't fight Lamont Roach, it's gonna be one of the saddest, unfortunate stories in boxing, man. Lamont Roach, he has to really outshine Tank. He has to really show like that wasn't a fluke. He has to go in there, beat Pitbull decisively, have it like a sweep, or even knock him out. He has to really separate himself from the Tank conversation. Because if he don't, that's just something we're gonna remember him by, you know. And for that to happen, for some fucking hair grease.
For some hair grease. Yeah, man. Look, that's a fight coming up. Pitbull and Mont, two of former Tank opponents. Was interesting about it is those are the guys that actually went 12 rounds with him. The only two to go 12 rounds with him. So them fighting each other has got some intrigue to it, man. Not the juiciest fight for Lamont Roach, right? Some better fights out there for him. But you could definitely understand why they take this fight, man. It's a guy that survived you, right? It's just a few people out there that think he actually beat Tanker. Should have got the nod, which I don't. But you throw them in there and say he beat him maybe in a way that Tank didn't, or more convincingly, or makes it look easier. Because Ryo, I ain't gonna lie, Ryo was one of the easiest wins over Pitbull. The way Ryo beat him, that shit was like easy. It looked easy. So if Lamont is able to do that, then maybe they're going to start clamoring for that rematch again. But I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think we'll ever see it again. I think that rematch is over with. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things where if he ain't do it back to back, how do y'all expect him to do it after that? You get what I'm saying? What's the incentive? Why we have to do it? Just because people asking? I don't think that's going to be enough to you know what I'm saying? To go do it alone. I don't think so. I think you going to yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know.
I think the only incentive would be personal pride. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't think he cared, right? Because I think that would have kicked in now, right? Even with the Jake Paul fight, man. But or you will be telling people like you fighting them after the fact, and you ain't doing that. You talking that retirement stuff. So, it just seemed like you don't care about the you had with that 40 months. I'm gonna go fight this fight, make this money, and I'm gone. I'm gone, G. That's what it looked like. The Butcher, Nick Ballin, what's good, man? Y'all hit that like button, double tap the screen, man. We light in the chat, but we're going to keep building, man. We're going to keep building. Y'all hit the like button. Man. Said that fight could be big if Roach wins. Yeah, man. That's why I say the right kind of win. They're going to be talking about him, man. They're going to be like, hey, man, you got to fight. You don't went out there and fought one of your tougher fights, the guy that survived you, he went out there and beat him easier than you did. You know how people like to talk. And there you go. You got the rematch talks right back again. So I wouldn't be against it, but I do root for Lamont. Because look, man, if it was any other fighter, we'd be saying the same thing. I guess because he went against so many people's favorite fighter that they don't acknowledge the fact that he got a raw deal. It's not nothing with Tank. Tank did what he did, but the referee and so on and so forth. He kind of blew and missed. You know, he screwed the situation up. So at the end of the day, I think you said, would a Roach get stopped? Shit, man. Then you know Pitbull gonna be asking for his Tank rematch. But that's gonna be. But I don't think so. I think Lamont Roach, sharp, smart fighter. I think he's gonna beat him. Yeah, ask me, do I know Dimitri Bivol? Bro, why wouldn't I know Dimitri Bivol, man? Why wouldn't I know him, man? Of course I do, G. Hold on, I think I could put the joint in here. And joint. Can't stop a Roach. I got you, ETV. Can't stop him. Let me see. Can't stop him. Sir Senior in the building. Yeah, Dimitri versus Crawford. Nah, that never happened. We'll never see Crawford at 35. I mean 75. I said 35. We'll never see Crawford at 75. I think Crawford going to 60, bro, because we're gonna talk about that too a little bit, man. We're gonna talk about that, man. Crawford is doing this thing, man. Sad more people ain't just simply enjoying the man be great, but Crawford on his shit, he like, bro, y'all want to fight me now, huh? Yeah. Crawford like, now y'all want to fight. Nah. Know what I'm saying? Hell nah. So I hear people keep talking about boots. That fight don't bring the money that I think he'll be looking for, so it ain't gonna happen. And if he fighting at 60, sticking around to fight at 60, Boots is at 54. All this imaginary. This is how you know people don't think logically. They just think like fans. You think Boots is supposed to forfeit his plans at 54 just to go chase a Crawford fight at 60 that he might not get? Like, people don't even be thinking, bro. You can't. Go to the community post. Go to the community post, bro. I got it in the community. You know right where the community post at. Click the community post. I got the link posted in there. I think you probably got an iPhone too, don't you? I think that's why it's like that, because mine's just showing up right like the regular chat. That's why I dropped it. I don't know. This is weird, man. YouTube got to get it together. YouTube got to get it together. But we're gonna keep building. But yeah, man, ETB was gonna show them the real box. I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. I hear you like Bivol, huh? We like Bivol over here too. We rock with Bivol. What's good with it, bro? Bro, okay, man. You must be from where Bivol from, huh? His ass from where Bivol at. He said, man, Bivol and Crawford. That's how you know Crawford great, bro. We want Crawford to fight 75 pounds. Yo, I heard somebody call in the boxing voice. He said, Bug got to prove himself. He almost lost my shit. I said, yo. He said, yeah, man. He went up there to Canelo, but he still got to prove himself, man. See, the biggest fight for Crawford out there is Boots. I said, yo, shut the hell up, yo. You got to start cutting people off, man. Called that show saying that weird shit. He got to prove himself. It's crazy. What's good with it, bro?
What's good, Just?
Just in here, just a Friday chop up,
Yeah.
Weird ass narrative.
You've been cooking. So what I was saying earlier in the chat is I agree with a lot of the things that you were saying, because I've said the things myself, like he's been conditioned, Tank been conditioned to think the way that he think, But as a world-class competitor, right? I don't care if you LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Once they put you on that level, everybody that we've ever known, from being kids to adult, that's got that that's been put on that pedestal, they have that competitiveness in them, right? They you know, especially coming up as a young man, it's kind of like, yeah, when you get older in the boxing game, then it's kind of like, well, you know, I didn't prove myself. I'm gonna pick and choose and this and that. But it's coming up. You got to hold these fighters back when they really think and believe they on that level. It don't matter what nobody around them is saying. You know, they telling you, nah, you don't need to, but you got to hold them back. But from the very beginning, I'm going to speak for myself. Other people can say that they didn't see it or whatever, but I seen funny shit from Tank. Like Mayweather, as a young man, you coming in the game, Mayweather shouldn't have to threaten you with a Lomachenko fight. And then you kind of like looking funny about it and saying, well, nah, you know, he trying to set me up and other things like that. So you know, he should have been jumped on that. Like, yeah, shit, I've been wanting that fight. What's up?
Yeah, right.
So the competitive nature is kind of like, to me, I never seen that competitive nature in him. I seen, like, you know, I seen more of a bully mentality. I'm gonna pick and choose. I'm gonna pick and choose. Right now, the certain fighters, you know, I'm gonna be quiet. But if it's a fighter that I know I can beat, then I'm a bully. And you even see that. You even see that in press conferences. Like when you go back to the Frank Martin, he bullied Frank Martin. So when once he seen that he could bully Frank Martin, it was okay. Let me see how far I can go with this nigga. You know, and I was at the fight. I seen when he turned around and laughed to his corner. It was like, yeah, I got it. And that was after the first round. He like, okay, yeah, he's scared of me. And that's to me, right? I think that he's a great talent physically, but mentally, he don't have the mental that all-time great has. He don't have that, like, because if you got both, it don't matter what nobody around you saying. You want to prove to the world that you can beat these guys, and the money gonna come with that. He would if he had to beat some of these top guys like the T.O. Shakurs and them, he would have made more money. He would have been even a bigger star than he is now. So, and the only problem that I have with it, because when you say that, yeah, well, he ain't never told us, you know, that he chasing these guys and things and that of that nature. You're right, but he will sit in interviews and tell you that certain fighters is trash, and you know what he'll do to them, and he'll knock them out, and he'll do this and he'll do that to them, right? So that's what gets me. Don't say that if you're not willing to fight him, because that's just like a nigga talking shit to you over the phone, and then you pull up at his front door, and he's still woofing through the screen door, but he won't open the fucking screen door.
Right.
Like, you don't, you know what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. And I respect you. I told Money this, right? I was having a private conversation with Money, and I said, you know what? Two cats that talk this boxing shit, I really respect, even though I don't agree with some things that y'all say when it comes to Tank and, you know, I said it's just doing you. I said, because y'all two are one of the only ones that keep the same energy with every fighter. Like,
that's
me
why
and Money,
I'm able to do it. Like,
because you can say that.
Too, being from Jersey, they expect it. They expect me to go, and I'm showing them you don't gotta talk boxing that way. I be trying to come from a place of understanding, and like I was telling you before you got up here, man, I really think they coddled that man and convinced him that you don't need nothing to nobody. You got this. We gonna do it this way. And it makes you think why he start talking about you trying to set me up, and like, cause it's like, bro, you moving this way, and then you come out and, hey man, we got this Loma fight for you. Like, bro, what? Like,
well,
I just think Floyd created the monster that we dealing with.
You right. You right, but he had that mindset before he got with Floyd Mayweather. I did a video about that shit a couple years ago, and I dropped the footage proving that he had that mindset. He did an interview before he was with Floyd Mayweather. This is young. He probably had maybe 9 fights under his belt, maybe less, right? and he was sitting on. He was in the gym. He was real. He was hella young before he got with Floyd. He was in the gym, and they was talking to him. He was pro already. They was talking to him, and they said, "What is like?" I can't remember what the exact question was, but they asked him like, why did he look up to Floyd and this and that? And because at the time he was saying that Floyd wanted to sign him, but he ain't want to sign with Floyd at that point in time, right? And they're like, well, you look up to Floyd. He was like, well, not really. It was like the biggest thing that I look up to Floyd and that I learned from Floyd that I like, that I take from his game is that knowing how to pick and choose your fights at the right time. That's what he said way back then. This is before he was with Floyd. And he said that he wouldn't, he didn't really want to get with Floyd at that time. I don't know what happened after that, but he said that's the biggest thing that he admired by Floyd and that he took from Floyd is knowing how to pick and choose your fight and taking fights at the right time. I wish I got to go back and find that video because I did it a couple years ago and I put the audio and everything in there, right? And so at that moment, I said, damn, he been thinking like that even before Floyd got to him. He been thinking like that. It's like, you know what I'm saying, way back then. And then I think people look at Floyd and point at Floyd. I think more so it's Leonard Ellaby, man. Because Floyd is about his money, but then Floyd is arrogant also. Floyd ain't gonna build you up to look better than him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and we got to look at all these other fighters that Floyd has had. Floyd ain't never really protected his fighters like that. He always at some point throw his fighters into tough fights where you can be like, man, we don't know if he can beat that guy. We never seen that with Tank. So we put it all on Floyd. I think a lot of that shit was Leonard Ellaby because anytime somebody get on Tank about the way he moving, who come out and front line? It's Leonard because Leonard knows that Leonard know that he's the one that drilled that shit in Tank's head. It's Leonard. Leonard is the one that drilled that shit in Tank's head. I think at some point Floyd is like, okay, well, you think you like that, you got to fight some of these guys. Yeah. And that's when Tank feel like, okay, well, he ain't on my side. He trying to set me up because I think Tank came in the game on, how can I get the biggest bag without having to take the highest risk? And that's cool. And like I said, that's fine if you not telling me what you will do to these guys and how you will do it to them and you better than these guys. Don't say that. And ain't nobody got nothing to say. If I would never have nothing to say if he don't say them things because I'm like, okay, well, he ain't never said he better than these guys and he can beat them. Is what it is. Let him do what he. But when you say that, now it makes me want to see that shit. I'm not gonna take you for your word like a lot of these fans do. They like to make false reality and fantasy matchups and what happens and all of that. I want to see you do it. You know what I'm saying? Just like Shakur said, he want to be the greatest of like Terrence Crawford and all them. Well, I want to see him go, and that's why I was calling for him to go up and fight Devin Haney at 147. So when he said, well, nah, I don't want to go to 147 and fight Devin Haney, but I'll go to 147 and fight Conor Ben. Well, you can't tell me you want to be great like the Terrence Crawfords and the Sugar Ray Leonards and the rest of these dudes if you ain't willing to go up to fight a guy like Devin Haney at 147. Even though I think that you got that skill level, I'm keeping the same energy with both of them, right? I think he'll beat.
You said Conor Ben at 47 too. Can't pick and choose. People say, you can fight them all.
Yeah, right. I think you'll beat Devin Haney at 147. That's my opinion. But how can I argue? How can I argue with somebody, right? If you ain't showing you believe that you can, if you move up to 147, right? You say you will at 140 or a catchweight, but I can't argue with the next man if I can't believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And that's just like Tank. People try to argue and put him in positions and that he don't want to be put in himself. So it's that's just how I feel about the situation. But as
Right.
far as what you were saying, I agree with a lot of what you were saying.
I get it.
Most of it. Yeah.
I don't disagree with nothing you saying because you just speak for the other side. Like for me, I'm not trying to be right. It's just a way I look at it, and I try to get these dudes the grace without sitting up here and saying, "Oh, you ducking everybody." But I definitely can say you didn't make those fights a priority. You didn't ask for them. You didn't. You get what I'm saying? You didn't suggest that you didn't move in that direction. And I think in your situation, you found a way to get what you was looking for, and it's been working. And you comfortable in your train of thought. You pick who you want to fight, or you allow them to pick who you want to fight for you, and you just go do that. I don't think the incentive is there for him to do anything different. And that's why I was saying when you was still in the chat, I'm like, it's different. Maybe if you went to go fight one day and it didn't do the numbers that it typically do, right? Maybe you didn't do well this time, or you get what I'm saying? It was a real fallout and people was complaining. But perfect example, like they complained about Lamont Roach initially, but then this shit did well. So it's like, which one is it? Is it complaining? That's what I think that's fucked with him too, because you got a decision to make. Like, bro, what I'm doing is got to be right. I'm getting paid. I'm winning. Everybody around me winning. It's like, you get what I'm saying? The people are showing up to these fights. So am I really doing something wrong? When they say fight this guy, I'm like, bro, look what I'm doing. And I really think that's what he think. Like, what we think of what great is and how he looking at it, he like, bro, this shit, I'm knocking shit out. Y'all buying these tickets. You get what I'm saying? I flip off the top rope. Like, this dude don't do nothing. Look how his fights look. You just hear all this, like, I don't know. It's like, I'm doing this and you can't do this. So if you can't do what I do without me, then I don't need you. And that's not the way it should be. It's like, bro, he's not a knockout artist. Shakur is never going to transform and just be a knockout guy. But that's the best guy in the division outside yourself. And that's why the fight should happen. But I feel like somewhere along the line, they convinced him that dude is nowhere near his level and you ain't got to fight him. And he started talking a different way. Like, he wasn't talking about his skill set like that. Like, he started trashing it after a while. And I'm like, damn, like, this is still the same dude. Y'all all know this is the same guy. Imagine shitting on a dude that's never lost and ain't even came close. Still doing all the same shit he used to do. So if you thought he was cold once upon a time, he still is now. You just hating ass dude. And with Tank, to me, it seemed like he just tries to convince people that the guy ain't on his level so they can stop asking about him, which I don't like.
Yeah, I think
you gotta listen to what he's saying, bro. Everybody think differently. You're not saying everything he's saying is a fact. It's a train of thought that he shared. We know how fighters get moved early in their careers, but this is way past that. This ain't early in his career. This is later, where after Floyd Mayweather, where you separated, where you can make your fights. Because Leonard says it all the time. He flexes so much how you the man that he don't have no problem telling us you can make the fights, or you fight who you want. You do shit on your terms. That's what I'm like.
Yes,
man.
I think
they'll tell you he can still a fight. Next day they'll tell you he can't make a fight. I'm like, bro.
I think the shit that he says about Shakur, I don't think that he believed that shit himself. I know he don't believe that shit, because as much money as he can make in that fight, he ain't worried about like all that shit. Like, oh, I don't want you to make no money. I don't want you to eat. Like, bro, he not worried about that shit. Bro.
Right.
You gotta be a whole different type of sucker to worry about what somebody else gonna make to stop your own. Like, I'm willing to stop my own self from making a huge payday, right? Getting an easy knockout, embarrassing a guy that I don't like, because if he feel that Shakur's as horrible as he think he is, right? That's an easy fight for him.
Easy fight.
That'll put him on a whole nother pedestal, and he can embarrass his arch nemesis in front of the whole world if he really believe that, and make a whole big bag. So you got to be a whole nother level of ignorant if you really believe that, and would go as far as stopping yourself from making money. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just so this guy can't make no money, because you're not stopping Shakur or nobody else from doing nothing, because they gonna make their money regardless. They don't. And to me, bro, this is what I think. When Tank really started talking about how horrible the boxing game is and how he hated and how he want to retire, is when the game changed. The game changed when I kept telling people Turkey came in, it's shit to get off the pot. And what I meant is you're going to have to fight tough fights.
You are.
Or you're going to have to sit on the fucking sideline.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when the game changed, when he realized I'm no longer going to be able to fight those guys, you know what I'm saying, them B and C level fighters and make the same amount of big paydays, I'm no longer going to be able to flex my muscle and all these guys waiting around for me to be able to make a payday, right? That shit changed to where now they don't gotta wait for him to make a payday. All they gotta do is fight each other and fight the best competition. So when the game changed to where he's seeing that, okay, I ain't gonna be able to finesse the boxing world no more. I'm actually gonna have to fight some of these dudes and be in 50-50 fights. Be in these type of fights to where, yeah, I might take a loss, but I'm gonna get a bag. Right? Then it was like, I don't like this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? F this shit. I'm going to retire. That's what I saw. Because I don't think, because can't nobody make me, hold on. Can't nobody make me believe that if the game was the same exact way that it was before Turkey came in, where all them guys around that 135, 140, 130 weight division, in order to make a big payday, had to wait on Tank, that he'll be complaining. If he was able to move the same way, he'd go fight a Rayo or make a $30 million or whatever and fight. I don't think he'd be complaining. The game changed. Now is I want to retire and I don't like this shit no more. That's just how I feel. Ain't nobody gonna make me feel no different. That's just my opinion. And it is what it is.
But what you're saying is like, I can see if you was up here, like, yeah, you got some feedback, sir, senior. Try to like go out and come back in. Probably, or it's probably your setting.
I'm still be listening. I'm gonna still be listening, but I'm gonna still be in the background. I'm gonna listen, but I'm still at work, so I'm navigating. So I'm still listening.
Right. So look, y'all, it just be. I can see if you know what he's saying is like, yo, what I'm saying is law. This is 100% how it is. We got to get back to learning how to have conversation, and that's understanding people gonna see shit different, bro. We all know our boxing, bro. It's a lot of this shit we really don't know, like really what's going on. But just take a thought, think about it, right? I'll say this: think about it. Showtime out, Amazon Prime in. Since Amazon Prime been in the game, the way they move their cards are slow. Like the way they put out cards to me is at a much slower and less consistent pace than it's ever been. You seen the man have a press conference in a damn auditorium or something. Tell me that's normal. Go ahead and lie and tell me that's normal. Go ahead and tell me that. Then you start seeing the standoffish nature and the energy, and he like, man, I don't like this shit. It's trash. Why the fuck would a guy that just got a 6 or 7 fight deal that's bigger than Floyd Mayweather's talk about retiring before he's able to complete the deal? Shit has changed, and I do think the opponents are right. Who would you continue to fight if it's not going to be the contemporaries? There's only so many times you can go to that well. I don't give a damn how good it look. At some point, they're gonna be like, "Damn, so you really not trying to fight none of these guys." And I don't even know if you want to deal with that. You get what I'm saying? So you see the businesses change, the way they put out their cards are different. Their biggest star just had his shit in the auditorium, bro. Like something is different. And you start trashing the sport, telling you how you want to get away and make his money. And that's the question I want people to answer for me. If you got an answer, or just, you know, whatever comes to mind, why would a person that had a 6 or 7 fight deal bigger than Floyd's talk about retiring before completing the deal? Something clearly is different. You get what I'm saying? Something is different.
It started off back with the
they weren't just trying something different.
It started off with Sean, back with Sean Porter. If you look at how the Sean Porter fight went, they thought that because their PBC and how they normally been handling stuff, they could do things different. It didn't work, and they ended up having to go to, you know what I'm saying, where the first bid. When that went to purse bid, also Bud Steele ended up giving Sean Porter his biggest payday. So that changed the narrative. If you notice, then even EJ fight changed. How EJ fight, they had to push little buttons extra to get EJ fight to pop how it normally fight. EJ normally just pick anybody and he fights saying, yeah, he got to pick a somewhat decent opponent and he didn't fight a whole bunch of bums. I mean, not saying just because he hung with Tank, not saying he was doing the Tank, but you got to look at it honestly. Tank is really Adrian Broner and EJ without the hunger. At least Adrian Broner wanted to fight people. At least EJ did fight people. They're three of the same type of three-headed monster. They party too much. They get too big. When they not in between fights.
Good point.
And
I don't know what
also
you on your phone. I don't know
than
what it
supposed
is.
to
It's
be.
like a little. It's like a I don't know, like a whistling static sound. I don't know.
Oh
What it
yeah,
is.
it's because I'm in the headset.
Yeah, you probably got to take the headset out or switch it to the regular joint. But yeah, man, you made a good point with that. With they weight blowing up, partying and stuff like that. They do have that in common. But the difference was EJ and Broner was hungry. But I again, you could always hold the fighter accountable to a degree, right? But the only thing I'll say, just like ETB was saying, like when you got a Leonard and a Floyd Mayweather in your ear convincing you that you don't need nobody, and I could be wrong about that, but if a guy publicly comes out and say, man, why y'all trying to fight him? We doing what we doing over there. Y'all fight each other. That's telling me, I could imagine what the conversation is when there ain't no damn camera on. Like, you probably like, bro, we ain't there fight, man. Look, we gonna keep doing what we doing. We gonna make this money. And I think that's
But you got to remember that
the beast that
Floyd
we see
actually
now.
tried to get Tank some good fights too, though. Like he tried to get him the Loma fight. He tried to get him a couple of fights, and Tank was like, he trying to get me to lose. The thing was he was trying to get you a name so you can then pick and choose whoever you want. You got to remember, every time Floyd picked and choose whoever he wanted, he picked the so-called softer competition, or he picked the softer name whenever they would look bad. Right before that, he did a really good fight. If you think about it, Floyd would get a good fight, soft fight, good fight, soft fight, really good fight, a soft, and then a medium soft fight. So you got to look at those things, you know what I'm saying? And he's telling you, like, you got to make them think that there's a chance of you losing. If they know you're going to win, you can only, you can shear a sheep many times. You can only skin them once. And that's the thing is, Tank didn't understand that. He thought, hey, I'm young, I'm light skinned, and I'm making this money. I can do whatever I want. No, that young light skin making this money doesn't go except for with the girls. You can go to the club, but you're not going to be able to do that in the fight game for long, especially when you didn't wait. He could have waited. He know that Shakur was going to get bigger. He knew Devin was going to get bigger. He knew that Tio was going to get bigger. All the main people we wanted to see him fight, he knew they were going to get bigger. All he had to do was wait 6 months to a year. Because look at him now. All of them is at 140, 147, dang near 154. If he just would have fought at least one of them and then just waited, he could have done that real easy, and then there'll be an excuse, well, they way too big, I didn't have a chance to fight them. But he didn't. And he's the A side. You can't scream, I'm the A side. I can make any fight I want to. Like y'all said earlier, you can make whatever fight I want to. Whenever I want, I do whatever I want. I'm the boss. I'm the super king. I'm everything. And then say, no, somebody else got to make me a good enough offer. So it's like, man, I mean, Tank try to burn it on both ends, and you can't do that, man.
But we had discrepancies though in some of these in some of the rhetoric. Like for example, the whole he's trying to get me beat thing. There was an unreleased Vlad TV interview in which Tank stated that they had a falling out over the Lomachenko fight. Not the fact that he didn't want it, but he wanted it, and Tank was telling Floyd was telling him, I can't have you fight killer after killer after killer. So we don't know who the hell is speaking the truth. Or what is just for our entertainment, for our stimulation. What is or what isn't factual. Because, once again, watch that interview. Let Tank tell it. He wanted the Loma fight, but Floyd wasn't ready to make it happen yet.
And I mean, then when you really think about it, like shit, when it didn't happen, it wasn't exactly Tank either. I know the timing wasn't ideal, but at least he wasn't him walking away. Damn, I do wish that was one that we could have got for sure, though. Loma just cheated us twice, man. Give us the Shakur Tank fight. Damn Lomachenko. Damn it. Bob Arum should have been pushed. He said Tank say he want the Loma fight for a while. He didn't want the fight for a while.
Well, go watch that Vlad TV interview, and it's from like 20 whatever, when he was still fat, looked like a damn Cabbage Patch dog.
Yeah.
And he was saying that they had a discrepancy over that. So I don't know what to believe. I don't even try to believe anything. I just take everything at face value. Oh, that's what you said? All right, cool. And I'm like, well, you said this, so I need you to do this. Because realistically, how can we hold anybody accountable? We can't drag somebody to a ring physically.
Yeah.
We can't put a pen in somebody's hand and make them sign a contract. So we could just, all we can do is enjoy the fights that we do get and then share our opinions about them afterwards. But as far as everything in between, making a fight happen, contracts getting signed, we have no control over any of that. So,
I feel like, man, my strongest angle is the programming that I think took shape. Like when you look at his circumstance and what he was looking to get, you show a young kid some cars, jewelry, money, and then you teach him how to get it. Get what I'm saying? Essentially teaching him how to fish. Like, you get me? Like, yo, this is how you do it, right? You know what I mean? Like you say, he could have had in his mind once upon a time to do it a different way, but when they showing you and the results are following it, it's hard. You forget about what you thinking. You realize, you see what you pay attention to what's actually taking place, taking shape. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, once they ever sold that he was the man, think about it. Most guys don't become the man without beating some of the man, right? He didn't have to do that. It's a rare situation to be in, and even more with people with the greed that exists in boxing. You really think they was in here talking about let's put him in these dangerous fights? It's not because they don't think he could win, but I don't even think they wanted to risk the chance of messing up what is a pretty big bag every time he fight. That's what I really, in my heart of hearts, I think that.
Likewise.
And then he, after a while, you're in the system. Like, you've been schooled to program. This is how I do it. And now, even though you've broken away from them, they asking you to do something different. You like, bro, this is what I've been taught. Nah, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It's not a right or a wrong thing, but that's where, the fans are gonna have the criticisms about the fights and the opponent selection. Do I trash his resume? Absolutely not, because it don't deserve to be trashed, right? That's not real. But there's things that you want to see and that you more than likely won't see. But the reason why it remains to be seen. But like, I'll stand firm on this. So as far as being scared of guys, nah. But the more I hear fighters talk, the more reality it becomes that the things we say have a lot of value, whether we believe it or not. All that shit you typing in these dudes' comment sections on Twitter, these threads, all these tags and mentions, they see this shit and they know that they getting dragged, bro. They gonna get dragged if they lose. And the guy, look, you got him coming out talking about losing. He don't want to lose. They don't want to get embarrassed and shit like that. Opulent OP, what's good with it, my guy? How you feeling, bro? So you hear it, man. They hear this shit, man. They human. People are like, well, that just comes with it. Yeah, it do. But remember, it back once upon a time, you couldn't get dragged for losing a fight like that. You might be some articles and some shit. You might see a couple outlets speak on it, and we on to the next fight. Nowadays, we'll take a loss and we'll drag this shit forever. Errol Spence still being trolled about losing to Terrence Crawford as if he ain't lose to the best fighter in the world. And you get what I'm saying? Think about it. Troll Earl more for losing than you did Canelo. And he jumped up and did the impossible with Canelo. At least him and Spence was in the same division. Get what I'm saying? So it's like, man, we will drag the hell out of these fighters and then be like, yo, go fight that guy. And they like, bro, if I could make, and my manager or promoter just told me I could go fight X, Y, or Z and make this much money without fighting A, B, or C, I'm going to go that route. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's cool, but I'm understanding that's how it happens. These people are real. Everybody ain't got that thick ass skin where they could just block out whatever. That's not the reality, bro. We all snap back. You get on Twitter right now, you type somebody, say something crazy, you gonna go in. Like, these people are the same way. Like, they see that shit, and I feel like, look, memes are cool. It's part of the game. Like some jokes, have some fun with it, talk a little bit of shit. But when it gets past the shit talking and it's really just full out slander, and like, there's no appreciation for the guy going out there and risking his life against the best guy in the world. Whether, you know what I'm saying? Even though he probably couldn't win. Like, we don't have no appreciation for the sacrifice that these dudes make. So, but we expect them to do it when we say do it. Yeah, fight that guy. Then you fight that guy. Then it's, oh, he wasn't shit. See, I knew it. And it's like, bro, what? You just asked me? Nah, bro. And I'm telling you, that's what's going on. These dudes they in it for themselves. They feel like the fans are fickle. A lot of fighters are speaking on that. It's not just Tank talking about people switch up. I heard Shakur saying some shit, how they drag you, how they be like a whole basically like cyber attack online when you lose a fight. Yes, he won against De Los Santos and got dragged still to 2025. That shit was in 2023. They still bring that up like he had multiple fights after that, looking like how he normally looked. Nah, De Los Santos. Like, so that's just an example. Like, Errol Spence still to this day getting dragged for losing to Bud Crawford, who Canelo just got beat up by. That's the problem. All I'm saying is that, not that we can't talk no shit because it's fun, but slander, like I said, and false narratives, the fighters get tired of that shit too. That's one guy that speak about it. Core's another one. Speak about the narratives that people put out that don't be on point. That shit get corny.
Like, it's even worse when it shouldn't be applied just to speak about Errol Spence, bro.
Yeah.
There was somebody that he lost, somebody who was close to him, and he made a post on IG as a tribute to this person. In the comments, you got ignorant ass people talking about, oh, that's why Bud whipped your ass. This is not the post for that.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
This man's talking about RIP, you know what I mean, to a person he had genuine love for, and you dragging him about the Bud Crawford fight. This is not no emotional intelligence from people.
You making me think of something, bro. That somebody did that on another post where it was a RIP post, and the dude says something about ducking somebody, and I'm like, bro, say yo, he just lost a friend, and you up here talking about he ducking somebody, bro. He like, respect to the dude, because I still remember his response was like, oh shit. He was like, you right, I ain't even know that, my bad. He was saying like, my bad to me, but he respected, like, I ain't even pay attention. I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, yo, dude's burying somebody and you up here talking about a fight or something. Like, man, I'm just not ignorant. And it's unfortunate that the internet has breeded a bunch of soft ass ignorant people, because there's no accountability to anything that you say. You could just say it. And I know that be the highlight of a lot of these soft ass dudes' day. That's why they willing to crash out over a boxing conversation or something like that. Like, dude, you out here falling out with people over their opinions. Y'all weird, man. The only way that's gonna happen unless you forcing your opinions as facts. I don't rock with people that do that. But if you tell me what you think and I see it different, I don't have a desire to disagree. Just have a conversation. That's what these people don't know how to do. Learn how to talk like men. That's why I be asking people lately, how old are you, man? When you wouldn't come in trolling and talking crazy, I question you. You're not a grown man doing that. Like, you fucking kids running around here, man. 20-some-year-old idiots that just started watching the sport a few years ago. And I know that's a fact because I had talked to somebody that, and I'm thinking like he was watching boxing for years. Yo, bro said he started watching boxing in like, what did he say, 2017, something wild. I was like, what the fuck? No wonder.
Started watching boxing during the pandemic and shit.
Yeah, I'm like, no wonder you don't really, you'll talk about it, but then you go off into some other shit. Shout out to Tay. Appreciate you, homie. Yeah, man. I'm not chasing popularity in this space. I'm not even chasing numbers. Like, we gonna build and we gonna keep growing like we do, but I'm really chasing the conversations. That's what need to be out here. Good, solid, sound conversations. But I hate when we deem everything hating when it's not what you think. We can't all think the same, bro. I know what hate sound like. And as it pertains to some of these fighters and the criticisms we have is a bit fair. Like, we ain't dragging a dude telling you a bum, but we gonna all think a certain way, man. And I think that's what makes boxing what it is. respecting each other's opinions. I know that's not the popular way because all the tough guys all of a sudden are not in the streets no more. They on YouTube. I find that to be very convenient, but that's not the way to have no conversation, bro. And I ain't gonna lie. And I was telling you in the DM the other day, bro had me out my character for a couple seconds, bro. But I was legit. That was the most annoyed I've ever been on YouTube. Oh, besides the one situation over here. But that right there, that was like, man, I started thinking about MFers, like nigga this, and I don't even be coming like that online. I was like, bro, I don't want to talk to you, man. Like I'm snapping, like I just I get tired of being the voice of reason. Like sometimes it get frustrating because instead of people respecting it, you see that shit is a way to kind of, you know, slip some shit in, and I ain't going. I ain't going. I'm not going. We got to get back to building the sport,
type
bro.
Of resistance.
Look at Kyle. Black Forces just, hey man, I was pissed off, bro. I was legit mad.
Flip the script.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's what they used to call me. Flip the script. Like my Instagram when I was like 20, I want to say like 26 or 27. I used to be Angry Man 26, I think it was. Word up. My shit was, I used to be pissed off. Dude, I came a long way, but now it's like I've grown from that space, and it's like people be dragging you back there every now and again because I ain't for the bullshit. Like, you ever see somebody try to rock you to sleep with like almost like an underhanded compliment? They can tell me I'm
all
a
the
quiet
time.
storm. No, the fuck I'm not. No, I'm not, bro. You got me confused. Do not mistake this level-headed guy is like that's them 24/7 like that. Nah, some days I could go too, but I told myself when I came up here in this space, I wasn't coming here to argue. Like I'm a student of the game of the sport of boxing, so if I'm arguing and debating everything, I can't learn no shit like that. Can't learn from somebody's opinion all the time, like especially if it's being argued to me. Like I don't want to hear that shit. And then I don't need no man talking to me in a way that I know we would sit next to each other. You wouldn't talk to me, and it's not because I'm tough, but you will respect the energy that I'm giving you, and you're gonna give it back because that's what a man to do. So it's like sometimes we forget that we still got to keep that principle intact no matter where we talking at. You could be wherever you at in the world, but you gonna talk like you got some sense. I had to boot dude off the panel one day. This dude started cursing at me. I'm like, oh yeah, let me block this idiot. Telling you, black forces just, man. My black do-rag, black cap, stocking cap. Yeah, I'm telling you, black stocking cap with the black on black. But nah, let's keep building though, man. But yeah, man, it's man, that shout out to Tank, man. Keep doing what you doing, make your money, but understand what come with it. Some criticism, but I'm gonna always be fair with mine. I ain't trashing the guy, but man, I do wish we could have got one or two of those fights. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. But I know that Millie pulled a pistol on Santa. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the biggest blessings in the world is to become jaded, disenchanted, disillusioned by the sobering reality.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you get to pick and choose how you want to deal with reality.
Yeah.
So like I'm not under the impression that these guys are making fights because they're trying to appease us, the fans.
Yeah.
No, not entirely. And like I was saying the other day, like let's say hypothetically Tank is getting $150 million.
Mm-hmm.
If they have that available to give to him, what the hell do you think they stand to make? And what do you think is in their best interest? To make this move that's gonna afford them to put on several shows down the line and feed their babies, or you know what I mean, appease a couple disgruntled people on YouTube. And then sometimes I even ask myself, is this about what I want to see because I want to be right when I get on YouTube to debate with somebody? Or is this what I want to see because of the particular matchup? Because oftentimes it's the former with many of us. We done made so many talking points and doubled down on those talking points. So we need certain things to come through in order to validate us and say, well, look, I told you and you ain't no shit and whoop-de-whoop-whoop. But it ain't really about the outcome for real. It's about bragging rights. It's about appearing to be knowledgeable. It's about appearing to have like all this wisdom and all this other shit. But these people who sign these checks don't give a damn about none of that. It's all about the facts and the figures. That's it. And that's why I say, man, if they can give him this much, imagine how much they're gonna be making. Because these guys get paychecks.
Yeah.
These guys own things.
Right.
For real, for real.
Right. There is a little number out there that they've been throwing at 150. I don't like count nobody money, but you heard what that post just said. It's supposed to be like $100 million budget, 60-40. I heard that. I heard both. I heard 50 million. I don't know where the 150 came from, but I promise you, if he got 150 million for that fight, please let him make every penny. Because it's crazy that the ones that want to convince you that that's what he stands to make, but it's no argument there. But that confirms who the fuck is coming back to get punched in the face. That got to be the next live. 150 million, he's gone. Your fans gonna have to accept it. I might come back later with that and just have that conversation. You're going 150 million. He talking about being salted for his daughters, plural.
Yep,
plural. Yeah, I got 3 kids. I love mine, but and I could make 150 million and go get the therapy shit. I've been feeling like I need therapy lately, real, for real, bro. So you telling me I can make 150 million off YouTube and then I'm going to get some therapy. Hey, just taking a month off straight.
Yeah. Hey, Just. I don't know how he making 150 million if Jake Paul only making 50.
Don't tell him nothing though. But look,
I mean, we can run with the 150 million. I mean, but if Jake Paul making 50 and Tank making less than what Jake Paul making, I mean, I don't know how that add up.
That shit is it's ridiculous. But
I guess I just learned math yesterday. Huh?
I'm saying we don't know the complete nature of the deal.
Well, we know. I know what Jake Paul said he was making.
He said he talked to the CEO. What happened, Tay? Said YSM say he talked to the CEO of MVP, and that's what he told him. What's that?
He said that the other day on your platform, Just when YSM was up here.
What did he say?
He said here on your platform that Tank stands to make 100+ million, provided all things go right. So this is what I'm saying. We don't know the complete nature of the deal. Netflix last year in the fourth quarter, they reportedly got 19 million new subscribers, right? In the fourth quarter. Their base subscription is what, like $8? So do 19 million times $8, and then that right there give you a figure. And that's just assuming that everybody got the base subscription. Now, I'm pretty sure some way, somehow, these guys maybe put some type of stipulation in there. Like if your subscription base grows as a result of our fight, can we get some sort of commission or some sort of cut or whatever? We don't know what the hell the deal is, but I can see there being a possibility or a route to them guys making astronomical money.
Why would Jake Paul say he was making $50 million though?
I don't know why the hell he would say that. I'm not Jake Paul.
And another thing,
I mean, we got to make it make sense.
Remember, Aiden Ross said it. He stood up and he was like, "Man, you guys are making $50 million a piece from this fight." Nobody said.
And Jake Paul did it and said he was making 50 million. So 150 million and 50 million. That's a long shot. So you mean to tell me he making 100 million more than what he said he was making?
Right. Shout out to Mills Rob. He said my Netflix subscription $30 and they've been $8 in 2016. Yeah, they been went up. They hiked it up. They make us pay for every damn thing, bro. But look,
I think we need to stay as fans, stay out of these. I think every fan needs to stay out of these fighters' pockets, because at the end of the day, ain't none of us getting paid off of these. I think that's where a lot of shit went wrong. When fans start, oh man, it was this many people at the fight, and the fighter made this, and the fighter finna make that. Man, that shit don't do nothing for us as fans.
You know how I be getting on these conversations, bro? It starts with misinformation. That's why I was about to say, anybody that's listening, know we having this conversation, not to count his pockets, not to be in his money, not to say he can't make it, but the number really, I watched it in a matter of like 3 days, 2 to 3 days, go from 40, 50 to 150. Then I heard somebody say like none of y'all niggas ain't gonna reach this money. Shakur, you ain't reaching this. Teo, you ain't reaching. I'm just like, bro, the only way I'm gonna be on a channel talking like that if I'm getting some of the money. Like he was like teasing the fact that Tank about to make this money and the other fighters not. I was like, damn, like y'all Y'all arguing about it. I'm like, bro, man, damn, if he get 150, what the hell Jay gonna get? Jake the A side. Don't forget, they not making the same amount of money. That shit don't even make sense. Regardless of what the deal is, I don't care if he stands and make all of it. But I just don't like how does that help the people that's pushing that? Like, are you getting a dollar of that? No, like, wow. So how are you? And that's pretty much their flex. Their flex is that, look, my favorite fighter is getting that bread. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting that. Your fighter ain't getting that bread. He making this. And I'm like, bro, why would you care that much? So look, I want to see the dude make all this bread, but that doesn't make him better than the contemporaries because he makes more money. Like I seen somebody saying that the other day, typing that in the chat. I'm like, why do y'all be comparing their money, bro? It's stuff that I know personally about that North native that I don't even say online. But y'all gotta pipe down with stop talking stuff you don't know. I know shit for a fact. Shout out to my guy, because I know he might be in the back listening, but he know what it is. Like, y'all be saying shit like, hey, he can't make $5 million fight nobody but Tank, man. I'm like, man, y'all gonna make me tell business I ain't supposed to tell you. I gotta stop, but that's just not true.
You got to keep that on the hush, man. Let them think
Right.
that the man is out here struggling. He don't sell and so on and so forth.
Mag 7, what it do? Just know the youngin is on top of his game, man. He get that home gym at the crib, man. So I gonna have a hard time dealing with him. I'm telling you, show me the dude that's able to beat him. And if I'm watching his career, and I'm not saying he's unbeatable, but I promise you, they're gonna get all the Jusdu. They're gonna get their credit. You go out there in a fair fight, you take youngin in school, beat them, knock them out, whatever. I'm gonna give dudes a lot of credit, man. A lot. Dudes brag about the money because that's what a fighter fights for. Mag 7, that's funny. Nah, I just think you can't brag about nobody else's money, though. That's super fan stuff to me. You know what I'm saying? GQ, what it do? That's me personally. Like, I ain't no shot at nobody, but imagine about bragging about the next man money that you not a part of, right? Anybody. That's why I just don't understand that angle. And they use the money conversation like that justifies him being better than everybody else because he make more money. And I'm just like, I don't like the conversation because it forces you to tell what people don't like to hear is the truth. Man, I'm telling y'all, and I'm gonna keep saying it with confidence. You show me a fighter that gets paid with the fight that y'all want to see him fight the most. Show me one fighter that get paid what he get paid up front, and I'll shut up completely. And you telling me what he makes has nothing to do with them fighting on top of him being a risk? When I hear Leonard Ellaby's and I hear the coaches talking about pay cuts, why would you? And that shit blows my mind. Why would a guy that's somebody's biggest fight have to take a pay cut? Because y'all ain't paid more than what 1.25. That be the minimum. So he's not going for that. Telling you he ain't getting in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it, but that shit ain't gonna get him to the ring. That's all I know. Yeah. Try that back end shit with somebody else. That's the shit Crawford wasn't fond of. And even in that situation, I'm so neutral. I'm able to understand that the discrepancy it seemed like they're having is simple. One guy was on Top Rank where they gave you upfront guarantees are different. And you got these guys talking about, you know, you take this and then you get this on the back end.
Projections.
The way they did business was different. So you could understand why they would kind of butt heads there. You get what I'm saying? To Terrence Crawford, that shit probably was foreign. Like, what? Hold on, back. What? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and people started taking sides. Oh, well, he don't know what he doing. He just dumb. And you know, you trying to make one business practice right versus the other. Like, there's no, they have a way they do business, Top Rank. PBC had a way they was doing shit. It's just that simple. That's why I think they butted heads. It's the way you go about getting your money. Terrence Crawford, like, man, Top Rank, pay me up front. What you talk back in my ass? That's the only time we started hearing that back end shit with PBC fighters. The back end this, the back end that. To make 135, is going to be undisputed. If I'm Shakur, I'd knock him off now before he gets too experienced. 2 years, nobody beating him. Man, Shakur beat him in 2 years too. I'm gonna tell you why, because he's smarter than these dudes, and they can't see past the physical like advantages they think Abdullah Mason got, but they don't realize boxing, what they say, 90% mental. And look, I hate to be petty, but You see who was in the locker room giving the advice after he got put down twice. And then all jokes aside though, but Jay Prince, they both managed by him. The only way I can see that is if the money is too good to to turn down. Other than that, I don't see him putting two of his fighters in there together. And it won't be to no fault of Shakur trying to be his brother or nothing like that. That's what they say. He want to be his brother. It gets so bad, yo. ETB and Ant, bro. It gets so bad with the narratives with Shakur, bro. Somebody said, and I know this is false. Somebody said, yeah, man, Shakur, man. I heard Shakur trying to beat little bro, Abdullah Mason behind the scenes, man. He stopped answering the phone for him. I said, not only do I don't like the person that just said it, I don't even like the people that you've been talking to that's lying to you saying that. Dudes are not beefing, man. He said it's one guy in boxing that he won't fight. One. Just one. It's Keyshawn Davis, bro. I don't got to explain that and get into that. Outside of that, everybody else, Abdullah Mason included. But I don't know how they look at it or if they think of it that way, but more than likely you're not going to be in there because y'all got the same management, bro. You're not, that's not going to happen. How do he stand to win if one of y'all knock the other one off? When he could just possibly have one guy go to another weight class and be great there. Telling you, I know that shit look good, but just look. All right, man. Just look at how many fights do a guy? He got about 15, 16 fights. He got some fights. He got some fights quick. Just go whatever number of fights he got, go on Shakur resume, go from that number, and then just go all the way down and look at Abdullah. Go up and down his resume. That's not a slight. That's not a knock on him. But just go up and down the resume, and then you might have come to the same conclusion I came to. Like, you ever hear Bob Arum talk about certain things? Like, you see how they moving them? That's not a slight, but bringing up the smaller guys, that knocking out, 30, 26 pounders. He fought some smaller guys, and they pull him up. Like, it's just the level of competition. They're clearly taking their time with him is what I'm saying, and they should. Now, I think it's only going to make him that much better. He got all the talent in the world. It's just about grooming him. And when I say that, it's just letting him grow the right way. We're not rushing him. Like, I know it looked phenomenal because, like, look, some people said they got him over Shakur right now, and that was a couple fights ago. They started saying that. I'm telling you, something about knockouts and knockout power that make people just forget that this shit is still boxing and the sweet science, bro. And he's just not a smarter fighter than me. And I don't, hell with all that. You're not about to just get in there and knock everybody out. And I don't see it. I don't see it. Not right now. You gotta show me some more first. I gotta see you at least win a title or something like that and see how you handle that or fight somebody that could give you some type of trouble. Cause I ain't gonna lie, Corey ain't getting knocked down by no. What was his name? I forgot his name. What was his name? Damn, I forgot the dude's name.
Johan Vasquez.
Johan, yeah, with the shag in the back. Shakur, my second favorite fighter behind Crawford.
But that's the other part about the power, though, man. The power will have you jumping outside yourself and forgetting that you got to have a delivery system. Get it there.
Yes.
Same way you can clip somebody on the chin, you could get clipped.
Mm-hmm. And you ever see how guys look that get a lot of knockouts with the first time they get in there with somebody that's not going and they can't hit them as often and as frequently as they used to? You ever see how that look when a fighter discovers that for the first time, they're in there with somebody that ain't going, that ain't just gonna let you. Shit is a bit of an experience.
Joe Calzaghe is one of the best, examples of that. Remember Jeff Lacey? He was knocking everything out that wasn't nailed to the damn ground. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So much so his nickname was Left Hook because he was putting everybody out with it. He went in there with Joe Calzaghe, a guy that had bad hands.
Right. He said
Kyle Slappy didn't really have much power.
Yeah, Calzaghe. I was pissed off.
He worked him.
Mad as hell, he beat Roy. Mad as hell, he beat Roy. But yeah, man, look, Abdullah Mason better sooner than later. The more experience, the more dangerous it's gonna get. Let me be clear. So, but it's just all that right now stuff. Nah, I'm not giving him the win. He gonna have to earn that.
And then what's the names are different too. Mm-hmm. Their paths are different too, Just. You know what I'm saying? Shakur came into the game poised to be a professional with his Olympic experience.
They dismiss
You know
it,
what I'm
bro.
saying?
They dismiss it. They be like, that don't matter. We ain't trying to hear that Olympic shit. And I'm like, that's the
This
problem.
ain't the amateurs, right? People say shit like this ain't the amateurs no more.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, we ain't saying it's the amateurs, but we telling you that he came into the game polished, bro. That's why he ain't never fought. I say this all the time, not bragging about it. It's just a fact. He ain't never fought a guy with a losing record. And I was hearing, like, the argument came up and they like, man, no, Tank resume is better, way better than his. And I'm just like, bro, he fought somebody with 18 losses, yo. Just don't say nothing else to me, like, about no resumes. That shit is subjective and it's like picking and poking. And the reality of it is they ain't really fought nobody that was supposed to beat them. See that? See how real I am? Then either one of them. You got to try to create a fake narrative that one guy's resume, just because you said, or you could point to a period where he fought guys with O's. And I'm hearing guys downplay like the Zepedas, the Padleys, Padley. He's pretty much an unknown to me. I knew a little bit more about Yoshino and some of the wins.
But he did upset that apple card though, because remember, Mark Chamberlain was getting pushed heavily in the UK at 135. He was supposed to be the next guy. And then you see what Josh Pally looked like in the fight after Shakur fought that undefeated dude. Dude was like 13-0. He stopped him. Pally ain't no slouch. And we be getting messed up too, man, because we be thinking just because a guy got a job that they're a scrub. Your man, Orlando Salido was a whole Uber driver, like literally. As a world champion. Like when he fought
guy
Loma.
that knocked down anyway. What was his name?
Cardenas.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Saras was actually selling insurance before the damn
That's funny.
He was selling insurance,
funny, bro.
I read an article about him. This dude was selling insurance, bro.
Yeah, that's funny.
Prior to the damn what's the name fight. And then that's the reality, the business. Shout out to the Mo City Menace. But I feel like more people should be in tune with content like his, because he has fighters on there that speak on their journey, speak on their experiences, and you do the same thing. A lot of these fighters, like you have Tsunami come up here. That dude, ain't he in college or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, come on now. So folks got to do something until they secure that big bag. Shadeja Green up here famously says she fought for McDonald's.
Yeah, the conversation about six-figure paydays came up and how rare they are in boxing, and we just seem to think that everybody getting paid millions, and it's like we'll say we know they don't, but we act like they do. And like I said, I've heard somebody say, "Man, you should have took that little $3 million Top Rank was trying to pay us." That little $3 million is fucking crazy, bro. Little $3 million, then you probably can't run all 10 fighters on the top of your head that make that money. Telling you they don't know how rare that shit is. These dudes, Monroe said his first $1 million payday was Tank. So he done had other paydays since then, but he said the first, like, he touched him, it was him. I was like, wow. And then just think about what point he at. And then you look at a guy that's getting pushed by a top rank Shakur or something like that. And that shit been like that for years. Like, you know what I mean? For some years, he been good. So, you know what I mean? Shit is wild, man.
The infamous showdown between
them. So that
Danny,
means to them they not good. Yeah, T-Mac. You know how they do, bro.
What's my guy's name? Danny Jacobs. Remember that clip? Danny Jacobs and Jamal Charlo? You ain't even touch an M yet.
Yeah.
Now, as a fan, at that point in time, I would have swore Jamal Charlo was touching M's already because he was popping. I'm like, what the fuck?
Me too.
So to hear Danny say that, like, you ain't even touch your M yet, baby, bro. I'm like, damn.
Right.
And Jamal Charlo's the man. I'm like, we be thinking just because these guys are on TV, they getting paid. Then there's other guys where we assume because stylistically, like in the case of Shakur, he's not a knockout artist and so on and so forth. We assume that he's making like table scraps.
Yeah. Dumb as hell, bro. He came in. I told y'all, man, do your homework, man, with people when they win the medals, bro. Gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal. Them shits pretty much ensure that you come in making a certain amount of bread from the rip. So you're not the typical guy that ends up having to fight like Jao Patai said. He ain't get paid to his 19th fight or something like that, professional fight. That's crazy. Can you imagine risking your life 18 times in a sport that you can't play just to only get paid in your 19th fight the first time. It's crazy, bro.
Tim Bradley, man. Tim Bradley, there's an article, it might still be up there. It was on Yahoo Sports, right? Where he was talking about how prior to his first title shot, he only had $6 in his bank account, bro.
Wow.
Imagine going to fight for a championship. Like, you're a whole contender, and you only got $6 in your bank account.
Right.
And then that title fight had changed his life. Like, after that, that's when he started really seeing money.
Telling you. There's probably definitely no bum. Nah, he's not. It's just, I was hearing like, you know, because the conversation was like, Tank need to fight real competition. And when they saying that, they like, bro, he fighting Jake. Then they like, real competition is Zepeda and Padley and Artem. I'm like, in actuality, by definition, it is, as opposed to what Jake been doing. But those guys are not bad. I think Williams Zepeda beat several guys on Tank's resume. I think he'll beat Frank Martin. I think Frank showed you, man. He showed me that he got gas tank issues. If you got a guy throwing 90-some punches around at you, and you got gas tank issues, you're gonna have a tough night. Hector Garcia, shit. Ryan Garcia will have to knock him out or face getting drowned too. It's a lot of those guys. Not just my opinion. I think he'd beat several of those dudes though. Like the Gambos, you just keep going. Like is Hector Garcia.
Well, no slouch.
Nothing special at all. And he was smaller. But I feel like Zepeda beat a lot of those dudes. But you let the typical Gervonta Davis fans, nope, nobody on Shakur's resume could do anything. I'm just like, bro, it's a bad argument, man. Bad argument. They was arguing that shit. Oh my God, I heard somebody arguing for Tank Davis, bro. Man, I was in the shadows earlier, bro. I heard some of the worst shit I've ever heard in my life, bro. Nah, Martin wouldn't stop Zepeda. I don't know why you. I mean, look, I can't tell you how you see it.
I could see a route to that though, because to be honest with you,
I think feel like anybody with gas tank issues, he got too tired against Tank, and he wasn't even getting his ass beat or none of that. Think about that. He was not losing rounds consecutively before he got slept like that. It wasn't like he would have been winning the fight or been in good standings and burnt the candle at both ends and got drowned. Like somebody with gas tank issues or struggling to make the weight. Think about what we talking about. That's that same Frank Martin. Let's not let that same guy. No, I don't see him stopping no Williams Zepeda. Somebody that's because I don't think Frank is no crazy big puncher like that. I think he's sharp as shit.
Yeah,
but
he's sharp.
I think he'll get drowned, is what I'm saying. Tank don't even throw punches, and he had the man tired as hell.
Hey, just don't let him talk. Frank Martin got a fight coming up. Let him say what they gonna say. So we expecting him to get a stoppage in his next fight then. So keep that same energy. He got to knock out Bartholomew then. And since he just this biggest knockout artist now, and he's sleeping everything.
I ain't saying it can't happen, but I could see him getting drowned by that pressure. Because I don't care. It's easy to say, like, Shakur, show me somebody else that's fighting that. That dude throw more punches than everybody in boxing. I had looked that up. I was like, damn. He threw right under 1,000 with Shakur. I was like, shit. You show me a guy with gas tank issues got somebody throwing that many punches in front of him.
The most impressive one to me was the JoJo Diaz fight. That motherfucker threw 1,500 plus.
Yeah, that shit was ridiculous.
I said, this dude is a workhorse. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I am very impressed just by like Williams Zepeda, the man and the competitor. As a boxer, I think he's solid. And I think that if he would have actually dialed back the volume just a little bit and be a little bit more deliberate about the way that he goes and does his work, I think he could be even more effective.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think that the volume actually diminishes his power to some degree because, you know, after a certain point, there's only but so much you'll be able to make sure that your punches are crisp and like technically sound. So, but after a certain point, now you start to throw like arm punches, but by the same token, to sustain
that,
output
got damn near almost all knockouts in this fight. Like, how is we saying he ain't got no power?
Yo, they noticed they pushed this shit when Shakur fought him.
Yeah, bro, it didn't have. He didn't have like up until he was gonna fight Shakur. You never heard that. Oh, he ain't got no power. All of a sudden, he was a pillow pisted, but but damn near got close to 100% knockout ratio.
Yeah,
It's what, like 80-something%?
27 out of 31.
33 wins he had. So
27
all
out
of
of
a sudden
31.
now he ain't got no power.
Right. That's what I said.
But
like,
the same guy that Pitbull Cruz got all the power in the world, but they fought the same opponent. Pitbull couldn't get the dude up out of there, but Zepeda walked through him like he was wet tissue paper tore through him.
Talk about it, bro. They be
but
just
Pitbull Cruz got all the power in the world, according to y'all.
Y'all sure Frank Martin stopping Zepeda? Let's not forget he fought Artem. That y'all trash and say he's not good. And Artem was beating his body up, bro. He needed that knockdown to win that fight. And y'all still sure that he knocking Zepeda out?
I think, man, you got to watch what certain dudes say, certain fan base say. They try to say things to diminish a fighter, but then when they need to make it make sense and make it add up, it don't never add up.
Yeah, man. That dude, all I say is this, man. Anybody that got put together 33 wins, like I ain't saying his resume is super crazy, but that's consistency, man. That's a guy that know how to win, and he's very effective at what he's doing. Let's not act like everybody would have did what Shakur did to him, because I'll bet money. And I can't wait to see him in there. I hope he get another good fight, man, just to see how he look. But I couldn't believe people trashed him. And it was like, man, imagine Tank going 12 rounds with him. I'm like, that's how y'all watch boxing? You watch a pure boxer do what he do best and beat a guy at his own game, and then your mind goes to, yeah, what would the fans say if Tank went 12 rounds? Well, what did they say when he went 12 rounds with Lamont Roach? What did they say when he went 12 rounds with Pitbull Cruz? What the hell we talking about? Because both of those guys were supposed to be knockout victims. So I'm just saying, like, it's no shame in going 12 rounds. When Tank went 12 rounds with Pitbull, you know, that wasn't a diss to him, or it wasn't an indictment on him. I seen his boxing ability. I seen defense, offense. I seen his chin because he got hit with a good shot. I seen him have a bag. He was boxing. He was boxing his ass off in there. So I'm like, there's no bad thing about going the distance, but I just don't understand why people look at boxing that way. It's like what would my favorite fighter do against him?
But you calling it down the middle though, because I'll also say this, and I'm not going to be Gervonta's advocate, but I did hear a lot of people trashing him after the Pitbull fight, saying that it was a robbery and so on and so forth. They didn't highlight any of the things that you said, like, all right, we seen the guy take a big shot and he withstood it. We seen the guy use his legs. We ain't even know the guy could move like that. We seen some elusiveness, some slickness. It was just like, oh, he ain't knock him out. He was supposed to because he's a bum. We didn't know who the hell he was. He was out here struggling.
Right. Especially Corey.
So it definitely goes both ways.
Tanks is better. Yeah, but not all boxers though. Shit, I could tell you the boxers that said Tank loses to Shakur. You know what I'm saying? It's all good though, man.
I don't think either one's is head and shoulders above the other. Because what's name got some sneaky damn good wins on his resume, like a Joet Gonzalez.
Yo,
you gotta remember who Joet Gonzalez was coming out of the amateurs.
They'd be like, who? I'd be like, yeah, you don't watch boxing. What the fuck you mean, who? Like, what, he won the title? Was that like his 13th fight?
Joet can fight, man.
You can't trash a guy that's never fought a opponent with a losing record. That's one. Because if you go look at your favorite fighter, like I said, and it's not, I'm not knocking them. Everybody had them type of fights. Most guys do. A lot of guys do. But 18 losses, pro debuts, and you fighting guys in a pro debut and you're like your 10th fight. Y'all, I know for a fact, people that make that resume argument, they ain't watched Gervonta Tank Davis beginning his career. They didn't watch it. And that's no knock on him. Everybody got to grow. You got to be built a certain way. Nobody jumping in there fighting King Kong and Godzilla. But that's why I say the resume talk is weak. Like, we'll look at one portion of the resume and base it off that. No, you got to look at the entire body of work, bro. You can't, the guy that had them 12, 13 losses and the other guy that had them 18 and them 3 dudes that was in a pro debut and he already had fights. That shit, that you ain't never see that on the other guy's record. That's what I'm saying. You never fight nobody with, like, I don't think more than 4 losses. I think that was the most. Like, you get what I'm saying? I say that for a reason. Got a couple of undefeated guys, but we know them O's ain't all created equal. You know what I'm saying? But I say this. They're both have like solid resumes, and depending on what you're stacking them up against, right? They've been through multiple different weight classes. I think whenever you prove that you're a top guy in multiple weight classes, that's saying something, right? Just because you move up don't guarantee that you'll still be as successful as you was at the weight class before, and so on and so forth. But those guys shown to be top guys wherever they plant their flag. So I respect the game, but I always try to make sure I'm fair with both guys. I don't trash their resumes, but don't give me all this one is better shit. That's what you think because it's your favorite fighter. I don't even make that argument. You never hear me get up here like, yeah, Shakur has a better resume. I just felt like he accomplished more, and that's a fact. That's like, so how you want to draw that up? You know what I'm saying? You took a belt from somebody, unified with somebody. You get what I'm saying? So I respect that kind of shit. It's hard to like diminish a guy like that. You get what I'm saying? He fought some strong guys, man. He fought solid competition, but anybody on his level, hell no. Anybody on Tank's level, hell no. And the same thing on the other side. That's why I say it's pointless to argue it, because nobody on Tank's resume beat Shakur, and nobody in Shakur resume beat Tank to me. What I think, just my opinion. That's why I say that's more the reason why they would have to fight, man. I don't care about who's better than who, and they ain't better than them. You know what I'm saying?
And to also add to that, I'd also like to say that those guys on their respective resumes could all give each other some work.
Right.
So that just goes to show you the separation that they have versus their respective opponents.
Right.
Because I can see a route to victory for Frank Martin versus William Zepeda. Because I'm looking like, okay, the way he shoot his jab, if my man Tevin Farmer could come over the top of that and catch him with a clean shot, drop him, I have I can't even find a word right now. But there's no doubt in my mind that Frank Martin could do the same. Frank Martin got a sneaky good pull counter. He got a sneaky good pull counter. Like I was watching him versus Michelle Rivera and Jackson Marinez, and I was looking at how frequently he was able to land that. I was like, oh, okay.
He was cooking.
He man, when he's dialed in. But then you also made good points about the gas tank. But here's the other thing, though. To the gas tank thing, I could also say that he also showed the ability to be able to dig deep. Because he was hurting in that damn Artem fight. But then he pushed through that shit. That 12th round, I was very impressed with the way that he pushed through and he was able to put it on Artem. And then for Artem, I also say that man is intelligent. Because when it started getting real hot, what'd he do? He took the knee. And Artem is a damn Olympic, if I'm not mistaken, Olympic bronze medalist or something like that. That man ain't no slouch. He ain't no bum.
Yeah.
Just because Shakur made him look like that. But Shakur is an Olympic silver medalist.
Right.
One decision shy of being an Olympic gold medalist. Multi-division champion. So in my estimation, there's no shame in Artem losing to a guy like Shakur. And there's also no shame in a guy like Frank Martin who picked up boxing full-time at 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And also the power, too.
Tank a good fight. He won't beat him, in my opinion, but he can give him a good go.
The margin of separation is not as big as we make it out to be.
Bro. He don't dominate his fights. People act like he win his fights, but he don't dominate his fights. He give away rounds. That's just a fact. Give away rounds, and he download the data, as they say, and pretty soon he catch you slipping. He's very good at that. He don't throw a whole lot of punches. He allow guys to be in a fight, but at the same time, the same thing that allow you to be in a fight is probably gonna get you clipped at some point. He usually good. He's really good at forcing you to make a mistake, or you get comfortable enough where you make a mistake. You show him something too many times. All of those 28 guys have fell victim to that in one way or another. Difference between Lamont Roach, he never made that very critical error that these other guys make that lead to them getting stopped. He never done it. He was on point and he was prepared, should I say. That's the word that comes to mind. He's very prepared. And the fact that they knew each other and looked like it, right? They just couldn't really truly surprise each other with anything other than, Lamont surprising Tank and everybody else with his overall effort. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care what you say. Yeah, he thought he was good, but you always think you're going to win. He didn't think he was going to fight to no damn draw. So I think he surprised Tank a bit too. And he had him confused a bit when he took the knee. It was a little bit of confusion. He said he ain't know you could get a disqualified for that. I was like, that's crazy. Because
I have heard people say, you know, in the amateurs, if you have an equipment malfunction or something like that, that there are circumstances where that's permittable. And for Tank and Roach, that familiarity is very important. One thing I will say though about Tank is personally, I would like to see him fight the way that he fought versus, I believe it was Cuellar. My Lord, I think that was probably one of the best versions of him because he did a fine job of blending, downloading information, but also being busy at the same time.
Right.
Like he had his jab working. There weren't too many lulls in the action. So I think that he does have it in him. He is capable of fighting that type of style where he's working. But against a guy like Shakur or somebody else like that, I think you would definitely have to. You definitely have to pull that out. Like you really can't afford to just allow the guy to just rack up rounds and then assume that he's going to get desperate enough.
Yeah.
Because one thing that Shakur is he's a fabulous tactician. Not just a good technical fighter, but a tactician.
Yeah.
By my estimation, I think he's one of the best that treats him boxing like a sport. Not like a fight, but like a sport.
Yeah.
Managing rounds and just being very consistent on a round to round basis. Like a fight like the De Los Santos fight.
Right.
Even if we slow it down to where we're not being super active, right?
Right.
You land 4 punches, I'm gonna make sure I land 7. Even if it's minimal output, I'm gonna make sure I do a little bit more than you, and I'm gonna make sure that it's pronounced. A guy like Ray Leonard was very good like that too. Like being able to con his way through rounds. That's an important part. Floyd Mayweather, same thing. Like I'm gonna do just enough to make an impression on the judges.
Right. Yeah, just and real quick, just because I say somebody give him a good go, a good fight, I don't think you're gonna beat him. I just think Edwin is a solid competitor. He do some things in there that can give anybody some trouble or make anybody think and be cautious. He can box a bit, but I don't see him beating him at all. I mean, his punching power or not. I just think sharper, better, and more complete. You know what I mean? I like Edwin, but I think a lot of the reason he was able to look that way because he had a fighter that was probably less than 60% of himself, for real. And truth be told, that's not that. I don't see too many people getting in the ring under them circumstances. I'm being 100% honest. That's why I be like, when I hear somebody go, "How he's soft," I'll be like, "Soft, man. Yo, do you know you don't get in the ring? You don't get in the ring if you soft like that. When your promoter basically giving you the green light to pull out, you like, bro, hell no. Nah, these guys ain't soft, man. They just ain't Superman. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Hell no, everybody's beatable, bro. Everybody beatable. Everybody. Only thing unbeatable is Father Time. That shit is undefeated. Unbeatable too. You know what I'm saying?
And boxing is one of those sports where it's so volatile that even the better guy can lose. Like you could be the better man. Ask Ashton Silva. You be out there cooking, take one shot, one lapse, in focus,
shot, bro. Damn, it's crazy.
One shot, and then all that beautiful work that you did just went right down the drain.
So something I wanted to talk about just briefly for a few minutes before we head out, man. Crawford said he ain't retiring. You know, I seen Blair Cobb said he talked to Crawford. Crawford said he might retire, but I hear more recently update. He said he ain't going nowhere. Bomac said he got about 2 or 3 more. I'm hearing 160 could be a landing spot for Crawford because I think he said the only one he wanted to fight at 68 was Canelo. Bro, they got Lara and Johnnebeck fighting, right? And was that 2 belts right there, 2 or 3?
Yep.
With them fighting? Man, you see what I see?
Full-time undisputed. That's the play.
Nah. Crawford cheated. Crawford's a cheat. His gloves was loaded, and he used snacking steroids. He need to retire because he cheating. His gloves is loaded, and he using steroids.
Hey, ETB, what's up?
Hey, these dudes will say anything.
Hey, what's up, man? You scratch yourself, bro.
What's up, little one? What's happening?
Baby, do
What's
say what's
happening,
up.
dude?
Give him a thumbs up. Do a thumbs up. Oh, you know how to do it. Stop playing.
What's up, little man?
I'm gonna punch you, yo. I'm gonna punch you. You want me to punch you? Man, you slobbing, bro. Get out of here, dude. Ew, man. Don't come in here with that. You don't slob on me, bro. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. What you doing? Why your braids out? Taking your braids out?
At this point, man, Bud then solidified himself in the game. Ain't nothing else he need to prove, bro.
Nope. Well,
Like, I mean,
undisputed ETV. I think it's a chance. 2 or 3 more fights, bro. You could John it back, man, and Lara. They let them do the heavy lifting. You go rest. You go prepare yourself for another run. And man,
yeah, he could.
Telling you, I ain't never been so happy to see somebody win because the way they was dragging them,
Right.
I genuinely root for these dudes when I get up here and talk about them, all of them. Like I just want to see people win, do their thing, give me good entertainment for my money and my time I'm spending, and that's it. I don't got no slander, but man, that shit they was doing to him, I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah, man, that shit was nasty, man.
I was like, yo, y'all really don't like boxing.
That shit was nasty.
Mad about negotiations, bro. I remember Charlo said Crawford sloppy at doing his business, and I'm looking at this old clip like, look at him now. He looking like a fucking genius, bro. He done outsmarted Bob Arum, PBC and Earl, Canelo, Turkey, well, whoever. Like, he winning. I salute him, man. Hell yeah, I'm happy to see a dude win like that. But it's just unfortunate that it's not about boxing with a lot of these fans. Like, because if it is, how y'all got personal feelings towards people you never met, ever, that never did nothing to you before in your life, never. They don't even know you exist personally. And it's like, we get up here and we spend hours slandering them. That's why I come up here and I just have a level head and just talk the boxing, bro. Like, all that slander shit is weird, man. Score one of them ones, but I'm going to rock with Tank. Nothing wrong with that Mag 7. Tank one of them ones, man. He just ain't being cool. Nah, I like saying I be messing with people. They be pissed off. I'll tell y'all real quick, though, one of the real reasons why I feel like he won't win is the punch output, and it's the mental for me. I've always maintained that. It's mental, and it's the punch output. It's how things go when they don't go right for him, how he responds. That's not a knock on him. That's just an observation. When shit don't go his way, he responds a certain way. Look at the Lamont Roach fight. Shoulder shrugs. Did he bite? Did he bit his shoulder? Didn't he bit him or something? He was doing mad little shit in there. So, like, that's why I think Shakur will win. I think he would force Tank to adjust to him, right? Because that low punch output would allow Core to be himself. I don't think he'll be like spooked by the power to the point where he won't throw punches and nothing like that. I don't see that. I just think that low punch output and the mental, when you not having your way, how you respond when you don't have your way. And why I say that, listen to what your coach said. We're going to let us do what we do. I know how you're going to respond when the person don't let you do what you do. You're not going to enjoy that. You're going to frustrate you. So to me, Don, what it do, homie? He doesn't win unless he stops Shakur. To me, got to stop him. I don't think he outboxes him. I don't think he's a better round-by-round fighter than Shakur. I think he's really excellent in setting traps, really smart, high-level thinker. You know what I'm saying? He's better defensively than people give him credit for. He got real good reflexes. He like a little cat in there when he want to be. Tank fast as hell. So it's some things his athleticism could cause problems, right? Just his presence, right? But I think overall, from round by round, I just think Shakur is a lot more consistent at managing that three minute duration, right? Like you think about it. We just seen somebody throwing throwing like 90 punches around and still got cooked, and he did what he do best, and he still beat him. So you're gonna cut that in more than in half. Like, you're gonna lower that drastically. We talking about 10, 12, 15 punches. Like, how many punches around we talking against this dude like that? That doesn't beat him. That I'm convinced. That shit just like trying to set up the perfect shot. I think it'll be the 12th round, and with 10 seconds to go, and your ass will be still looking for that shot. I could be wrong, but I think he's really good at making sure you don't get that shot. And again, it was something that made me a little comfortable. I seen Lamont Roach survived he looked like he gave better shots than he got at times. And the power that y'all made seem like it's impossible. Like they made it seem like the first time he touched Shakur to fight it, that's it. I'm like, why do y'all think that? He punched hard, but I think somebody with defense that good, you gotta catch him. Show me you're gonna catch him, man. Fuck that. I mean, he's consistently that good. You know what I'm saying? And again, I seen somebody argue like, oh, it's only plus minus is only like that because he fought 2 or 3 people. Bro, the plus minus is over the entire career. Do you see this shit? This the up-to-date one. You got Bam over there who's phenomenal, and then you got a boy from North. That shit is special, bro. That plus minus shit is real, man. I ain't saying he win with ease, and there's no way. Nah, I just think that's my ways I see him winning, right? Being able to outthink him. I think he's more locked into the sport at this point. And I think their whys was different. I think Shakur was brought up and trying to be the best fighter ever. I think that. I really do. I think if he get the chance to do it, that's what he'll try to prove, right? But when anytime you travel in the world, fighting everywhere, all over the place, you definitely trying to be the best, right? And I just know the stories and the different things, even the gym stories. I'm like, that's somebody that wants to be great. He just need the opportunities to prove it. And that's why I say him and Crawford got a lot of similarities with their careers. They seem underappreciated, and you can't tell me I'm lying. It's Crawford 42-0, and they still talking about how he need to prove more. It's fucking wild. A 3-time undisputed in 3 different divisions, but nah, he still got to prove more, right? They say he don't sell. They push the same shit with Shakur. They ain't say Crawford is pillow-fisted or nothing like that, but they underestimated him throughout his career. It's the same thing with Crawford proved him wrong 42 times. He's up to 24. You get me? It's like I think some of the same qualities they miss with Crawford, they miss him with Core. They're not the same exact fighter, but they got some similarities. They smart, really smart, sound fighters, man, that understand boxing, and they work extremely hard. So I think you got to outsmart Shakur, to me. Tim Bradley was saying it too. So he said it after I've been saying his video came out. I've been saying this shit for years. That's why I pick him over people. It's not a physical thing. It's mental. I think he'd be smarter than these guys. Like while you stuck on trying to knock him out, he knows in 3 minutes I can just outbox you. Chad, move around, make you miss, counter you, check hooks. Like he know how to score points and pile them up round after round while you searching for a knockout. And that's why I like his approach. Like I'm coming to outbox you. I'm coming to win every single one of these rounds if I could. And that's something about that I respect. But shit, Tank approaches, I love it too. I'm trying to get you the hell up out of here. I'm trying to wait for you to make a mistake, and I'm clipping you and getting your ass out of here. See how it's easy to be a supporter of both? That's why I never understood the picking a side thing. I just seen one guy at an earlier stage in his career. That's how he, I started rocking with him like that. But, man, that'd be a fun-ass fight, man, that we probably never going to get now. I was rambling a little bit, y'all. Rambling.
I think what's the name being up there on the plus minus is super impressive though, considering the low output. To me, I think that really suggests that he's a lot better defensively than what he's given credit for, significantly better. Because the plus minus is not just a defensive stat; it's also somewhat offensive as well. The number of punches landed versus how many you take. So if you got a guy that throws less than 30 punches around and he's top 6 in the whole sport. With that minimal of an output, that speaks volumes about how underappreciated his defense is.
Right.
Because the funny thing is, people talk about Shakur and his lack of offense, but he throws more punches than Tank does.
Yeah. That's why I say, like, I know y'all just be saying stuff and throwing narratives out there. He consistently throw more punches than that dude. And your favorite fighter got, I think, one of the lowest punch outputs in boxing, I think. But he's very accurate, so you got to mix that in there. That's where he makes up for the lack of output to a degree with the efficiency and the accuracy. Like he kind of, to a degree,
ruthlessly efficient. Because when I looked at output, he's like next to Zilly Zhang. So if you next to like heavyweights and shit, you ain't really letting them go like, you ain't really letting them go like that. But like the great Andre 3000 said, don't pull a thing unless you plan to bang, and don't even bang unless you plan to hit something. So he letting you know he ain't gonna pull it out the holster if he ain't sure he could lock that target into the crosshair. So
Nah, that's a fact.
he efficient as hell with them punches, bro.
Telling you, I just like how he fight with the aggression and the anger. You could see it, like you could see it on his face. Like I like that. I don't know, something about that I like. Like he be trying to hurt you. He be trying to punch through you. That shit is fun to watch. That's why I never diss him. It's fun, but I just hate some of the shit that goes on, right? Like, and I wish that boxing was more aligned with building fighters and fights up instead of destroying them. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's a conversation too for another day.
That's more so us though. That's more so us because naturally it becomes difficult to have discourse without it turning into discord. Because then eventually a conversation, it veers off into something ugly. And that's one of the things that I'm not really too fond of as it pertains to like debate culture within the boxing space in particular. Because we're so used to like trying to out-talk each other, prove our own knowledge and tell the other person they don't know shit.
Yeah.
That we can't have a reasonable and level head in the way in which we assess things and say, like, you know what? I can see what you mean there. Like what you were saying about Williams and Pater. That's like Frank Martin, Williams and Pater for me is like, damn, I could really see that going either way. Because you made a valid point about the gas thing, but then I'm also looking, I'm like, damn, Frank kind of sneaky with the what's name. He's a very sharp puncher too. That's what I like about Frank. I like his technique. For a guy who's only been boxing for about a decade, he looks crisp as hell.
Right.
But I think he's got underrated feet too. I think like he's very graceful. Like sometimes he looks like he's gliding out there. I'm like, damn, that's why they call him the Ghost. But with Shakur and Tank, on one hand, I look at the output, but on the other hand, I look at it like this. Williams and Pater, as impressed as I am with his output, because you got to be a damn dog. And I don't mean just in the ring, but I mean outside the ring. You got to put in some dog work to be able to sustain that type of output for 12 rounds or for however long the fight goes on.
Right.
1,500 punches in a round is nothing to sneeze at all. Like that damn is. Think about how many miles you got to run. Think about how hard you got to work to be able to do that in a 12-round fight. Like you got to have crazy, crazy, crazy work to have that type of endurance. Right. But with Williams and Pater, I'm looking at the quality of the work.
Yeah.
So with Tank, where he may not have the output, he may not have the volume, the quality of the work. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, yeah, he ain't throwing 975 like what Williams and Pater threw versus Tank, but the quality of that work is going to be extremely different. It's like you got to be way sharper.
Gonna put Frank ass in the blender. Frank gonna be on fumes, getting that 90 clip thrown at him.
Nah, hell nah, Jay Grant. But Williams and Pater definitely got some pop on them them shots.
Only people that been pushing that, bro, is fans that don't fight and obviously don't know what getting punched with an 8-ounce glove in their face feel like. Like I can't believe a lot of these dudes never put the gloves on in the hood. Like I thought that was like regular. Like especially when y'all talk boxing, I would think you put on some gloves and got punched in your face a couple times. I had. Fuck, like I ain't no way I'm walking away talking about nah, you can't punch. And I ain't getting punched with no 8-ounce glove, bro. Dub it or the 10-ounce, you know what I'm saying? Boxing gloves, them shits don't feel good neither.
I told y'all my story on here about how, you know what I'm saying, I got my shit knotted up one time.
Yo,
I ain't get knocked out though, but I had a nasty ass knot on my head. That joint looked like a cartoon knot.
Man,
Fought this nigga named Leon. Nigga hit me with a clean ass cross on the top of my head. I had a big ass knot on my joint. I was like, damn.
Oh man, yo.
I wore a Scully that whole week.
Yo, that's funny.
My teacher you gotta take that off.
Yeah, Jay, they tripping. But nah, they advertised the iPhone 17. Y'all just bust up when I seen it. I said, damn, they on 17. Like at some point, they gotta catch up to the year. We in 25, they gonna have at some point the iPhone is gonna match the year we in. And like I'm convinced they on 17 already. Like, god damn. I stopped having an iPhone in like Maybe the iPhone 4. The charger, I just couldn't take it no more. The chargers always break everywhere you go. Everybody got an iPhone. They ask for your charger. Next thing you know, your shit broke. The battery's dying. I'm like, yeah, I'm never getting another one of these. I started hating it. I gotta love-hate with the iPhone. Frank got good footwork or playing football. Yeah, Frank's a solid fighter, man. But yeah, man, they already talking about I was a pay to can't punch. Shout out to Rod, man. What's good with it, bro?
That ain't nothing but foolishness, man. You know what I believe?
I think it's over, Mag 7. I think it's over, bro. I think you could blame his handlers, the powers that be, for trying to like downplay Shakur as a talent, bro. And I think that shit convinced him that he ain't something. Think about why else keep asking how somebody look when they fight. Think about what they tell him, man. He ain't look that good. Damn lie. That last fight was phenomenal. I don't give a damn what you say. If that wasn't a good fight, I don't think you capable of understanding what a good fight look like. I say it's the best thing ever. But that was a damn good fight. Damn good fight. It was a fun one. It said 17 instead of the press buttons to call. 12-3. Shout out to everybody.
See, Apple, they switched it up. Now they give you the damn USB-C. They ain't got the lightning no more on the latest phones. They switched it up, made it a little bit more multi-purpose. I believe what happened with the Shakur fight was there was this expectation how he gonna deal with the pressure, how he gonna deal with the power, the output. You seen what Zepeda did to Giovanni Cabrera, whoopty whoop whoop. He was gonna get broken down to the body, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden, he ain't got no power.
I'm like, yeah, y'all crazy. But y'all keep moving the goalposts. I told y'all though, when that smoke clear, Young ain't gonna be there, man. They all probably lose before their career is over, but I think he's going to definitely be one of the absolute best ones out of this crop of talent, period. And I think he surrounded himself around the right people. I think he won it the right way. So that's good for him. So you almost dropped your phone in storm drain as well. Hell yeah. I think we all had that happen. Just accidentally. Rare for Mark.
Worst thing that happened for me, man, I dropped my phone in the airplane toilet. I was so heated.
Facts, Rob. Styles make fights. Samsung still KO Apple. Man, but shout out to everybody, man. It's another dope build for the books, man. On this Good Friday, man. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Shout out to Everything Boxing, my guy. Ant McQueen, man. I appreciate y'all good brothers, man. Rocking out with boy. And you know, we just gonna keep building, y'all. Y'all know how we do. We fuck around, be back tomorrow, man. Keep building on the sport, man. Basic format Apple. Ain't gonna make this fight with Shakur. I hope so, Mag 7. I hope so, fam. I just feel like with that much money and his frustration being tired of the sport and you know, just not having that incentive, he don't seem like he motivated to even think he got to fight Shakur. It's almost like he's convinced himself, like, that ain't a good fight. And I don't think it should be that way, but it's unfortunate. But I hope he proves me wrong. But like I said, at the 150 M's, I'm just gonna say that. And then you thinking with the Ryan fight, what you made 30 or more, them two crazy big paydays, what's your incentive to come back and get punched in the face, and then let alone drop that amount of weight after putting that much weight on, assuming that he gonna put some weight on for that fight. You already know, Reef. You know, we just be trying to build and grow, man. You know how we do. But again, shout out to everybody. I appreciate all y'all rocking out with me. And we be back tomorrow to build on the sport as always. So much love to my guy ATB, and we up out of here, y'all.
Representing Brick City, Shakur! Finding those levels too. Look at that 4-punch combination.
It's a masterclass right now from Shakur Stevenson. That's what you're seeing. A masterclass. And Shakur meeting them with a straight left hand.
Oh, there's a knockdown scored with the left hand.
Right now, we're going to give him his just due. Shout out to my brother Just Due.